Maybe should we just do a recap to how it started the first video anyway? Just like a short one.
Sure.
Just in case. Should do the recap though, because I feel like you'd remember the more relevant things. And also it would give me a sense of what you think is relevant.
So am I recapping the entire sequence of events from start? All right. Poor Lucas Eaton, a gunslinger of little renown, was hired to perform in the classic plot hook, a caravan guard, and to enter the town of Goodsprings. On his way, they were ambushed, the caravan. He was he rolled like a real hero rolls and failed everything. Was badly beaten, bruised, left for presumably dead. Did not know what happened to the poor people he guarded. Woke up in a house that he did not know where he was. Woke up naked but tended for. He took a quick look around to get his bearings, so that his wounds had been tended for, and he was in good order. He heard men talking downstairs, and did something to get their attention, and they walked up to the room he was in on the stairs upstairs. He attacked first. He took as a human shield the first person to enter the room. Was like a kind older man. Well, he looked kind, and armed himself with, I believe, a bedpan. Is that correct?
Yeah, something like that.
Let's say yes. So yes, that is what happened.
No, I think it was literally like a chamber pot because it broke.
Yes, it might have been a chamber pot. He took the chamber pot and bravely human shielded his. He had we did some exposition. Turned out that the man he was holding as a shield was the one who had taken care of him or found him in the desert. Or not found him in the desert, the guards had found him in the desert. And then this man Morbius had taken poor Luke in and tended to his wounds. And the guy who is now threatening Luke with his repair is Jarif, who would turn out is the head in the town, or over this entire area, in fact. I don't remember his title. I might have written it down.
Jarif's title?
Yes.
The word I can't pronounce?
Yes.
Margrav? M-A-R-G-R...
Sure, Margrav. That is his title of this area, including the small town of Goodsprings. The situation resolved itself. And emotions were calmed. They explained to Luke what had happened. The guards had found him in the desert, and he had been taken in. He was suspected of killing the towns, or the people he had been hired to protect. He was accused of being the one killing them. But I don't remember how it was resolved, but he convinced them of his innocence, I believe, somehow, by virtue of great thinking. I'm sure. So he was cleared of that charge, and was then sort of just set out in Goodsprings to seek his fortunes. His first sort of job opportunity came. Yes, this is the town of Goodsprings that we are looking at. His first opportunity to actually do something came in the form of a nearby mine. This is like mining country. Riches have been found, various gems and other riches have been found in the area, and so it's been colonized for the mining opportunities. And one of the mines had people gone missing in. Another classic. Another classic. We dusted off. So he contacted the head of the. Is that a penis? Yes, it is.
It's a girthy penis, you know.
Of the mining. I mean, if you say so. Maybe for you it's girthy. I don't judge Magnus. I contacted the head of the mining operation. Confirmed that they had been having problems. I agreed to take a look, and I would be accompanied by the owner's son, name of Gryder, I believe. Stonebeard? Yes, Steelbeard. Gryder Steelbeard, I have written down. They went to the mine, take a look. They found some a plant there that had taken over the workers and turned them into some sort of zombie husks.
I totally wasn't playing Wasteland before that session, and based out of the accent.
I mean, yeah, inspiration just comes right from the ether, the collective consciousness. Yes, so we did that. We finally found the plant and some elven belongings that had been like a pot that had been smashed or something that had some sort of seeds in it. I took it with me, and it would later turn out that the sort of beleaguered wood elves that are sort of enslaved, not strictly enslaved maybe, but working in, they are being sold as slaves partially, but working as underpaid serfs in the area, and some of the sort of wild tribes who have still not been captured and enslaved had done some sort of magic with the plant, and they were the ones responsible for it, turns out. Luke, or Lucas, who himself is a child of slavery, takes great offense to these social injustices, and quickly hatched a plan to, when he heard of that there was to be a great slave sort of auction market happening in town in a couple of days. He went to Morbius, who they had now become, friendly, and to sort of see what if he could find some contacts in the elven community, if he could do something right. I think his plans initially were pretty grand, to put a stop to the entire thing, the entire auction market. But what appeared was an opportunity to save the sister of one of the elves in town. His name is hard to pronounce. Narayan. Yeah, Narayan. I think we decided on Narayan. Yeah. His sister Rodana was a slave that Jurif, the boss guy, was going to sell off. But he had her in another town. He had sent her there on some sort of prostitutes, mission, I guess, and had sort of given her over to this, neighbor town of Morningshade, to this fat slob named, I don't recall what his name was either. I should have written down.
His name was Thornton.
Thornton, yes. So he goes to Morningshade, meets with Thornton. He's told that the girl had run away and was probably held captive by, or she had probably returned to where her people's homes that used to be up in the hills. But he said that nowadays it was being run by or lived in by goblins. Was it goblins?
It's kobolds.
Kobolds. Yes, kobolds. I intimidated the guy into giving me a scout to come along with me, so I wasn't alone. When we went up there the same day, the same night, me exhausted, and killed a bunch of kobolds, found the girl, rescued her, then brought her back then the following day to Good Springs. But then he had a plan, the good Luke. He had orchestrated, together with Rayan and his elven friend, they had decided on a place where the elves would ambush our little carriage, and we would set Rodana free, and then I would return alone to Jarif and see what had happened. I was they had beaten him up, roughed him up, so it looked like there was a struggle. I gave away my something, I don't remember what. My repair, right? I don't think I have my repair anymore. Is that it?
Did you really did your repair?
Maybe I didn't. I think I intended to give it to them, but they didn't take it.
Do you have a repair on your...
Yes, in my sheet. So
Then you didn't give it.
yes, I didn't give it away. I think I intended to give it away, but they didn't take it. I left it. I said to them they should take it, but they left it. So I, walked back with bootsless, which is a recurring theme in the campaign. People stealing Luke's boots, having to buy new boots. He reported into Jarif what he said had happened. He suspected foul play by elves, he said. And he went to bed then. The following morning, he wakes up and there is a commotion out in the square. Poor Lucas Eaton goes out to the square and he sees 4 elves. Was it 5? 4 or 5 elves that he does not recognize are being hanged publicly. And Jarif is there and states publicly that, I have lost some of my property, and if it is not returned to me or the people responsible brought in to me, I will keep murdering elves or executing elves until it happens. And Lucas is greatly... It hits him hard, the plight of the elven man, and he doesn't really know what to do. He turns to Morbius, after doing some shopping, he turns to Morbius again for advice, and is reassured that it's probably grandstanding by Jarif, and he's not actually going to execute so many people as he said. But Luke is still, while slightly relieved that it's might have been for the greater good anyway, or it's a net. A sort of a net good that came of it. He's still in distress, and he expressed interest in learning the language of the elves, and was suggested to visit a scholar in Jarif's employ by the name of Gallius, and that is where we're headed now. To put a cap on that recap of.
You do recaps the same way you do background stories.
You mean passionately and interestingly all the way?
Extensively. Like when you started talking about which weapon you used to fend off Jarif in your first encounter, this is gonna take a while.
Oh, yes.
That's
how I roll. We'll cut this away in post, Magnus. Oh.
Here's something else, Victor. Yeah, so we're heading up to... it's fucking to scale and shit. So we're heading all the way up here. It's really far outside town to Fort Goodsprings to try and find Gellius, right?
Yes. I believe Maurice told me where to find him. Well, I don't...
He only said he was in Jarif's employ.
Oh, he didn't? All right. I'll get up there. Ask around, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if there's... you're noticing the city's sort of crowded again, right? Like I said before, when it was empty when people were in church, it's starting to fill up a bit more. And, people are gravitating towards the town square where the auction's going to be. But if that doesn't immediately interest you, then...
I'll check it out, I think, what it looks like, the layout, the setup.
So basically, the town square is like I talked about before, the buildings are sort of in blocks, right? They tend to have areas between the buildings in each block, like a backyard type thing. Whereas you saw up by where Morbius lives, there was a farm type thing where they had 2 pigs, I believe, there, and a tiny bit of farmland and stuff like that. And basically the town square is a larger version of that sort of back alley thing. It's just instead of being houses forming a back alley thing, it's blocks forming a back alley thing, or a yard. Or perhaps the better description is there's essentially a block missing, a block of houses. And that's the town square is just open. and like along it, there's around it, there's sort of the typical like stalls, people selling fresh produce and whatever the fuck people sell, in a town square,
Sure,
right?
things.
The kind of things that adventurers don't actually go and buy, so I don't think too much about it. Like fucking eggs and shit, right? Like, what did you ever have someone in a party be like, you know what, I'm gonna go buy some eggs?
Some locally produced eggs.
Yeah. So and in the middle, not really in the middle, like there's one road in from like here-ish. That's the most obvious to enter the town square. Although you can enter it from like pretty much every direction. So a little bit further away from there, sort of quite in the middle, there's like a wooden platform, and where there was a gallows, where they hung some people this morning, there's now just like a podium. There's one podium for like a speaker to stand on, and then there's another podium for people to walk up on, sort of to be elevated, so they're easier to see in the crowd. And there's quite a few like merchant-y looking people about, like people in a slightly finer dress and so on. But right now it's not quite started yet. It's kind of like if you go to a concert a bit early, where it's not like seating or anything, just like an outdoors concert. People are just kind of like hanging out, but also reserving their sort of spot in the crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what's going on.
Are there any elves around at all? Like, is there like a storage area for them?
No, you don't see any like these are the elves that are going to be sold type thing. But I mean, there's elves around the place.
Mm-hmm.
There's even there's an elf with his own, or at least appears to be his own stall, selling some vegetables, and some of the merchants walk around with what appears to be a servant and so on, and even some people just walking around freely.
I think I had my horse. If not, I would have gone fetched him, right? So I'm just leading him now. And I figured I'll just like bump into...
Wouldn't your horse just be at the inn?
Yeah, but I went and got it.
Okay.
I don't want to walk all the way up to the fort.
Sure.
I'm a riding guy. So I'll just ask the closest rich-looking guy when the auction starts or when it starts.
Let me do how likely is the rich guy to be a dick? Okay.
So 1 to 2, I think, for
rich people.
For rich people.
The Marxist news shining through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just straight up tells you that it should be starting, any minute now. Which, in this day and age, it's a bit longer than any minute now in our day and age, right? It could be within the hour, maybe something like that. Like people are a bit more patient. People are like on their fucking phones. Like, when is this fucking auction gonna start? Like, fucking, you know what I mean?
I'll wait around, I guess. There's no hurry to find the guy.
Okay. So eventually
I'll take a good spot, I think. I'll muscle myself in there. I don't care.
Get close to the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so eventually sort of a procession of elves come sort of marching down from north, presumably from the fort. And another procession comes marching down the main road, so from the east. And they're sort of like herded into an area like behind the stage, and the whole thing starts. And just interrupt me whenever. I'll just like give like a general description of what's happening. So Jarif isn't here. Like there's just some other guy in fancy dress, like a rotund is not the word they use. Yeah,
the politically correct word.
So standing on this podium, you realize now that the podium is actually really high and it has like a couple steps. Presumably has something to do with his, not so impressive stature. And
he's also short and rotund.
Yeah. He didn't win the genetic lottery.
Yeah, not like Luke.
If you got money,
Strapping guy.
And basically how it works is just like they walk a group up on the stage, and people bid on the group. And if you watch like a couple of them, then you see.
Let's start with the first one.
Okay, sure. So 5 of the elves walk up on this stage thing, and it's basically like a bidding thing. Like some people are sort of recognizable, and they just like put up a hand, and they notice them and just get a nod, and they're like saying prices, kind of like a standard auction thing. And then the crowd behind is sort of not involved in this, right? There's a crowd gathered sort of just to look on. People aren't doing much on a Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the most interesting thing happening. But it's only these sort of merchanty people sort of bidding.
Yeah, there's no regular people involved at all. They're just like walking around,
or even just standing around watching it. So it's not much, but it's some entertainment, right? What else are you gonna do?
Sure.
And so it goes back forth a little bit, and I had this somewhere, but obviously I wasn't smart enough to check this before the session. And look up how much I decided slaves cost. Just in case you decide to get your own, right?
Sure.
I
wonder if I can make it record only one screen. Well, you
Are you recording 2 screens?
Yes.
That's not good.
Apparently it is. I'll look into that at a later date. You can see me playing solitaire in the other window.
You and your solitaire. There's one of the books actually has a prize.
Yeah, you won't be able to find it for it. It's under your goods and stuff. The same.
Adventurous Armory, that's the one. Right.
Hireling servants and services, I think it's under there. Yes.
Well, I think I found it. It's like 75 for common slave.
Yeah, common slave, hard labor 100, etc. It also specifies a weight, which I find hilarious.
In case you want to put them in your backpack. It's like, let's see. Our fighter can carry 3 slaves. I can carry 1. I can imagine a party doing those logistics. Yeah, so they step up, right? And kind of like a random assortment of slaves. Like there's one guy who looks quite fit, right? And then there's this woman who looks quite frail, and you can't really imagine what she'd be used for. And they don't really give any details on them. Like they're just asked to like spin around, like hold their arms out, stick their tongue out. I don't know if anyone can actually see their tongues from there, but it's just like, look, they're like, we didn't make this up. These are real elves, right? And then people just bid on a bunch of them, and so this particular bunch goes for about 300 gold in the end. And to some merchant guy, and they all walk off, and he sort of
feeling like, were these good elves or bad elves that went for 300?
Like there was the one standout guy who looked pretty good, and there was the one woman who looked pretty shit, right? And then the 3 rest of them was just like average. They didn't leave an impression, right? So they walk to him, or they're being escorted to him, and he sort of walks to meet them, and he doesn't actually hand over any gold, but something's noted down in what appears to be some sort of logbook thing, and he just waves off the woman and one of the 3 average-looking slaves. The average one, he sort of checks out a bit and then just waves him off, and then he leaves with 3 others to what appears to be like some people he's involved with, and they take them away. And the 2 that he discarded go back in the pack with the rest of them. That's kind of how it works. We figured out pretty quickly. I would think Luke's a smart guy, right? They draw 5 random slaves, and you bid for a lot, but you don't have to keep any. so the price tends to be driven by, if there's like a good candidate within them. And that's how it goes. And then only after like 10 maybe auctions total, there's 5 come up that no one bid on, and then the auction ends.
5 come up that no one bid on?
Yeah.
And I think, Luke can make a bid. Has there been a minimum? Like, what do people start at?
You don't really know, because people just kind of raise their hand, right? And I was acknowledged it. Maybe you probably figured it out, because they start saying prices after a couple of hands are raised. So starting price should be like 100 gold.
Yeah, he'll raise.
Okay, so you raise your hand.
Yeah.
And the man, it takes a while to acknowledge you, but when no one else raises their hand,
Yeah, raises his hand, stares him down.
He gives a nod towards you, and this is 100 gold from the gentleman in the cowboy hat. Do you have a cowboy hat?
Yes, I definitely have a cowboy hat. I would have 2 if it wasn't frowned upon.
And you hear some mumbling from some of the merchant guys, and there's like a little bit of back and forth, and then one of them bids, and it's this 150, and he sort of looks in your direction.
The merchant says 150, or the announcer says 150?
The announcer says 150. It just seems to be incremented.
And no one, there's no way to raise your own amount. It's only to express interest, and then
seems to be 50 gold
50.
increments.
Yeah, sure. He raises his hand again.
So you're up to 200 now. The announcer looks a bit surprised, and there's more like talk between these merchants. But the guy who you were bidding with sort of gives you a look and shakes his head, and you win the auction. The natural thing for you would be to walk up to the clerk like the other people have done.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get there, he actually asks you to pay.
Oh, yeah, to pay? No, man, that's not the deal.
The other people have just been noted down. You didn't see any exchange, but he asks you to.
Sure, yeah, I'll cough up the cash. Let's see. 173 plus how much? 27.
He looks a bit surprised, to be honest, that you're paying up. It seems like this is a bit odd for someone who isn't like known to be a bidder to bid. But obviously, they're fine with selling them, right?
Mm-hmm. They better be. Right, I only about the slaves. So I got 5.
Yes. Let me do a thing for Hagidyr's best slave is. It's not going to be very good, but... Oh, okay. So...
roll something to see if I spotted something hidden that no one else did.
That's too late. So yeah...
Look in their eye, right?
Your best prospect is a young man, but he sort of doesn't seem to stand quite straight and looks a bit like skinny, not so strong. But, maybe he was properly fed and rested for a while. Maybe he would pack on some muscle. I don't know. And you have 2 women and 2 children, 1 boy and 1 girl.
Children? Were they up on the stage?
Yeah.
Oh.
If it wasn't clear, then they were auctioning children too.
Oh, that wasn't clear. Children? Does the children seem to be with their parents? Like, it's their children? Some of the people I now own? Or is it just random children? Miscellaneous children?
The girl is holding the woman's hand.
And the other child?
Seems more on his own.
That's all right. Didn't think this through completely. So he'll run them up, I guess.
Okay.
So he'll turn to someone in charge or whatever, like the guy where he picks him up from, right? And,
Right. It's basically just a clerk. Like there's some guards about, and then
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
auctioneer,
but
and then there's
yeah,
the clerk. Yeah.
So I'll say, do you have anything to transport them with, like a wagon or?
Shrugs. Is this your problem now?
I guess. So what did they have them in?
They just walked them there. They weren't chained up or anything.
Right.
I mean, they had some guards around them, but you know.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's see what happens with this. Well, I'll. The only elf I actually know is Norwegian, so I'll. I'll gather them up. I tell them to follow me. I look stern saying it, but not necessarily mean, I guess.
Sure.
Do they follow?
Yeah, they're sort of obediently following.
Right. And then I look around to see if Jarif is actually. You said he wasn't present, right? But if it's turned up or if it's around at all.
I mean, if you just have like time to look around and you're not feeling pressed for time, then you just look around for a bit. You move a little bit back and forth, then you make sure you've covered the whole area, and you're pretty sure Sharif isn't here.
So I've been up there a couple of times. Do I recognize his guards?
Yeah, I said he like kind of rolls with a
exactly.
with a posse.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, but like a group of people, and you don't see anything like that.
All right, then I'll bring him to the stable where Narain works.
Okay, you bring these 5 people to the stable.
Do they talk amongst themselves when we walk, or
nope,
what's
not a single word? And so what I'm imagining is you're walking.
Like with my horse in hand.
Yeah, but are they like in front of you or behind?
No, I'm thinking behind. I'm like
they're behind you.
Yeah, I'm like looking back, on occasion just to see that.
I mean, there's not much happening. They just kind of follow you obediently in a line, and except for the girl holding the one woman's hand, and you arrive at the stable, and Narain is outside, and he looks at you a bit puzzled, but he does greet you,
Yeah, I'll.
In his broken common, he says, "Good day, Luke."
I'll, give him a hug, embrace him.
Okay. I don't think it's been established that that's
hasn't.
a common greeting, so it's a bit awkward, but he doesn't deny you.
We're not really there yet, I think, socially, me and Narain, but, showing these people where I'm at. So, do you have time to talk?
He just nods while he's sort of looking questioningly at your 5 slaves.
Yeah, so I said, so I bought these at the auction, but it was, I didn't really think it through.
So, you notice as you've approached Narain that some of your slaves are sort of talking amongst each other, or like in hushed tones, right? You could roll insight if you wanna.
Is that sense motive?
Sense motive, yeah. I just keep calling it insight for some reason.
Ooh,
that's pretty good.
Cool.
Technically, that isn't a success, but there's like no scale of successes in sense motive.
You can make something up.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that shit. Fuck that noise. Apparently, it's whatever. Yeah, you notice they're like alarmed or it's a good word, like something's definitely changing their behavior. Like they're wondering like what's going on. Like they're troubled by recent events.
Like one is. Yeah, so I'll say.
I mean, they don't have like newspapers, right? And they probably couldn't read them anyway. So, by recent events, it's probably reasonable to assume it's something to do with
The mass execution, yes, possibly. Right. Well, I'll say to Narayan. So I didn't really think it through. I don't speak Elven. I don't know what to do. I intended to release them from servitude, to let them go about their way, but I don't know how to best do it, right? I don't know where to take them. I don't know how to help them.
It looks at the man who seems to be sort of, leading the pack, and he says some words in Desert Elf that you don't understand, and they exchange conversation a little bit, like just a couple sentences back and forth. And he looks at you and he says, and I'm not gonna try and make my voice broken. He speaks in this broken common, but his message is quite clear to you. He says, well, they don't want to be released.
I'm sure that's true, but I don't really. All right, so I'll take a look around. Can we speak in private somewhere?
He looks awkwardly at them again and says, sure.
I mean, they can
come
right?
inside.
But I meant from the prying eyes of others.
Sure. He leads you inside the stable.
Right, so I'll say you spoke of where you took Rodana, right? There was a community, a tribe. Is it possible we could I could take these people there?
Huh. One of your slaves says something to Narayan, and Narayan looks to you and he says, I'm not sure I want to talk about that in front of them.
How come?
He says, not all the elves side with the people who oppose the status quo.
All right, that's great.
For these people, it's just being bought by, some wealthy merchant from far away, to work in their, castle or whatever. It's seen as a blessing, not a curse.
Sure. Do you have anywhere I can keep them? Anywhere they can stay while I figure it out?
Shakes his head. None of us own any property. I certainly don't.
Then I know a guy who I come with my problems. Will be delighted to have. Right. Well, all right then. I'll say, well, thanks for your help, Noreen. Your friend as always. And
he gives you a nod, and he says something again to to the man of the group. Few slaves. In Elven, of course.
I'll say, all right, come along, guys. We'll find you some work. I'm calling you guys.
They follow you. I mean, they get the general gist if you walk somewhere, then, you know.
Expected to follow. So I'll head up to the church again.
Okay.
With my pack of slaves.
So you head straight for the church?
Yeah.
It's been... Okay. Do a perception check for me. Okay. Not only do you notice the blinders aren't shut in Morbius' house, but you know, you can see him inside as you walk past.
Oh, then I go to his house and knock on the door.
And
tie my horse up outside.
Yeah. I mean, in general, it's kind of awkward of you to walk around on your horse. I mean, it doesn't actually, like, I'm not going to stop you. I'm just saying it's kind of awkward.
Yeah, I intended to ride up, right? This is
Yeah, I know.
An unintended stop.
Yeah, he opens the thing, he sees you, he sees the horse, he sees the 5 slaves following you, and he just looks at you like a question mark.
Does it look like he's adding it up?
He just looks at you, expecting you to say something.
Hello.
Hi.
So, we spoke an hour ago, if you recall. Since then, I went to the auction. These people were not being bidded. Bid? Is it bid? No,
bid on.
Bid on? I guess it's bid on. We're not being bid on, so I bought them. I didn't think it through.
He literally face bombs. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's very atypical for Morbius, right? Generally, he's calm and collective and sort of like the... I almost said wise guy, but I obviously don't mean like the gangster wise guy. I mean like the guy people lean on for wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally face bombs. And he sighs, and he opens his door and says, "You better come inside."
Do I sense he means all of us?
Yes.
All right. I'll let him in, and we'll enter collectively.
Okay, so he takes you to sit down, you know, by the place you guys sat before when you checked out the what's it called, like the clay pot thing you brought, and you talked to Narayan, and like your slaves are just kind of standing awkwardly, you know, right inside the door after it's closed. He doesn't gesture for him to sit down. There's not really enough seating for him anyway.
All right, so I'll say my intent was to simply grant them their freedom, though it appears a lot of them are not interested. My plan B is to find someone decent to give them employ. But until that moment, I don't have anywhere for them to stay or to do. Is it possible they could stay in the church, maybe help out with church things? I'll pay their wages and their for their food and lodging, of course.
And where do you intend for them to lodge?
I don't know. I could arrange, I suppose, in the tavern, in their common room for them to stay. If you don't have anything, a suggestion?
He sort of looks at them, looks them up and down a bit, and looks to you and he says, I guess they can sleep in the church for now, but you really need to sort this out.
Yeah. Do you have any ideas?
He says, honestly, no, I can't take in 5 slaves long term.
No,
It's just not
obviously.
that much
Yes,
work to be done.
No,
And,
I wouldn't ask that. But do you have?
and I don't know anyone who. He sort of looks at them and it looks back to you and says, I mean, as you said, no one were bidding on them, right?
No, but if someone were to take them off my hands for 50 gold, say if starting price was 100, I can part with them if I'm assured it'll be a decent, life.
And
It's 10 apiece.
realistically speaking, you think someone who would buy, and he sort of speaks a bit more softly, not the best slaves for 50 gold would be able to provide them with a decent standard of, work and living and so on.
Sure. Farmer somewhere. I could give them away, right? I'm not... The money doesn't concern me. I'm willing to...
More farmers spare resources to pay their food and lodging, and he just shakes his head.
You mean to tell me there's no one who could need free, a free worker and just provide them with food and shelter in this entire town?
He shrugs and says, I just don't think it's easy to find this you seem to think it is. And I don't know anyone specific.
Well, can you keep them for a couple of days maybe? Until I figure it out.
He sighs and he says, I can let him sleep in the church and put him to some work, but like I said, this isn't a permanent thing.
Yes, that's all I ask. And I'll hand him... What's a reasonable figure to employ and feed 5 people?
Do you remember we looked at that monthly expenses thing?
But I don't remember where.
Cost of living. Here we go. Cost of living. Poor, 3 gold per month.
3 gold per month?
Yeah, so 3 times 5 divided by 30 times, I'm going to say 5 days to make it a little bit bigger. 2 gold, 50 silver.
Yeah, that's nothing, obviously. I'll give him... I'm not a rich guy, really. I don't know why I bought fucking slaves. Let's say I give him 15 then.
Okay. He doesn't seem to think it's like a major gesture or anything at this point.
No,
he doesn't even thank you. Actually,
it's not supposed to be. It's
you get the feeling he feels you've stretched
yes. Yes.
Thing quite thin.
It is. It's not lost on me.
Okay. So you got rid of your slaves for a few days.
Then I leave, and I'll stay until Morgus explains the situation, I guess, to them. He spoke some token words at least, and then I'll.
They seem to be like really unsure what's going on, even when after he explains it. But I mean,
yeah. So I would actually ask him to ask them if anyone would like to just go. Just I did give them some money, and they would no questions asked, be allowed to do whatever they want?
Well, he says if he exchanges some words with the man, and you see some nods and stuff. Yeah, Morbius says, "Well, I mean, if you let them part with, some, reasonable amount of expenses covered, like a month of living or something, I think they'll, give it a try."
Yes. Yeah, of course. Yes.
Okay. So that's your plan? You're doing it
Yes.
by the way instead of the other plan?
Yes. Then that other plan is scrapped if they want to find, employee. Oh, fucking. With someone, I guess it's up to them, but at least I've given the chance of a freedom, right?
Sure.
And I'll take back the money from him. Right?
Yeah.
So
it's basically 15 gold is what you're going to have to give them, because you're going to have to give them 3 gold each.
yeah, but I'll give him 30.
I'm not going to distinguish between children and adults.
Yeah, I'll give him 30.
30 gold total?
Yeah, 30 gold total.
Do you split it up, or do you give it to like one person to keep for all of them?
No, I'll give them 6 each.
Okay.
Even the children, right? It's if they want to divide it up, further themselves, and I'll give them via Morpheus, I guess, or Morpheus, not Morpheus. I'll give them tips on surviving in the wilderness and.
What kind of tips are you giving them? Do you have survival?
Yeah, I've lots of survival.
Just do a survival check, yeah.
Yeah.
Can
I take 10 on it?
Oh my gosh, it's so boring. I hate taking 10. But sure.
Right, then it's 18.
Okay. No, actually. You know what? No.
I'll roll it.
We'll roll. Because you're not there to see if it fails, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So you can't like repeat it when it, you don't know if the instructions are clear, actually.
Yeah. Well, I'll if not that, then I'll give them suggestions for some key things to pick up from the store, and I'll say if they want me to, I'll accompany them, and I'll be the one to buy it if they are unsure of whatever. I can buy them some like tents or sleeping things, or if they want to take a trip.
Let's there's right. Yeah. That's pretty much it, really. I mean, they'll depart if that's sort of the arrangement.
Yeah. Sure.
Your character would probably have some clue how this would work, so they're listed in that logbook as being your property.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're also kind of your responsibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if your slaves do something bad, then it's not, then you might have to pay some reparations or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right now in that logbook, they're still listed as your slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Just a heads up.
Yeah. So yeah, then I'll go to the, back to the guy who would keep that log.
The clerk. Yeah.
Send them off. Yeah.
So you just head back to the town square?
Sure.
Yeah, back to the town square. I'm just gonna say it's still there because it's not really important enough to send you on like some merry chase to find him. Yeah, he's still there. They're packing up stuff, and he's doing some logistics.
He's busy doing a thing. Right. So I'll say. So I would like to update the status of the people I bought, or the elves I bought.
He looks at you quizzically. Okay.
They are no longer in my employ.
Very well. And who did you sell them to?
No one.
he reacts. You know when someone's like, "I told you so," you know.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't actually say "I told you so," but he has that kind of like glib look, and he gives like a nod. It's like, no, he knows what's going on here, and he, he says, "Yeah, just one moment." You know, he finds his logbook, and you guys take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
Right.
They are now officially free.
Well, that was an ordeal.
How much gold did you waste on this?
200 and I guess 30. I think 230. That's harsh.
Yeah, man. This is harsh.
Can you quantify, can you is there a price on freedom, Magnus?
I have I get feeling he's telling me that this is going to cost you a lot more than 200 gold.
Yes. Maybe. But then, what's the term?
It's hard to be a good guy.
Get that right. But someone's got to be right.
Sure.
It's got to be Luke.
So, you've been like, there's like an hour or something doing the church thing, and then at least a couple hours at the town square, and then back and forth. Like, it's starting to, the sun's going down and stuff.
Yeah.
After a while, you've been fucking about.
Yeah, but I would want to visit the guy so I could start studying as quickly as possible. So I have to
sure.
Anyway. And now I actually have a use for my horse.
So now you don't look like a fool for walking around with a fucking horse in town all night. Okay, so you're right up there. I mean, it's still there's still activity here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not as long as there's enough light out for people to do stuff. Generally, people are doing stuff. And I mean, do you just walk? What do you do? You're not stopped at the front gate.
Yeah, I think the front gate guy.
There's no problem stabling your horse there.
Yeah.
But if you stable your horse there, you'd for a couple hours, not like for a night. There's you're expected to tip, although there's no
sure.
set price.
Give him 5 silver.
That's more than it would cost to stable the fucking horse.
I give him 1 silver.
Sure.
And then I'll just ask a guard or something about where I'll find Gilius.
Sure.
Is it a hard G?
Gilius. Is not what they said his name is? Gellius.
Yeah, but is it Gilius or Gellius?
It's Gellius, probably. Yeah, so you ask where Gellius is, and I mean, he points you to that main building you've been in before.
Mm-hmm.
And, you go inside, and you probably recall when you get in here, there's rooms on the sides of the room where you bumped into a bunch of scholars, or scholarly-looking people. Who had their own, basically offices.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't point me in, so I know which one. Just.
I mean, you ask the guard outside. He's on duty, right? So he's not gonna walk you to him. He just, he works there somewhere. He doesn't give a shit about linguistics, man.
Yeah, I guess. I'll just go into the closest office then. The one that
I
knocked on last time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and him are buddies.
Lo and behold, it's as you enter it, you notice he literally has a nameplate and it says Gellius on it.
I'll say, well, hello. No, I'll say.
I was gonna do the thing where hopefully when you go to him first, right? So I'd seem really smart when you went to him later, and that was Gellius, and because he'd been there the time you bumped into him before, right? It seemed like I knew all along.
Does
he
it?
went there first. No.
I don't know. I don't think it does.
Just don't care enough about exactly where his office is.
I'll tell. Excuse me. Do you have a minute?
Sure. He says, come in.
Right. I'll, introduce myself, hat in hand. This is custom when I speak to people about my station, and I'll say. So I was sent here by. No, I don't say that. I say so. I'm interested in learning Elvish, the Desert Elves language. I was told you might have something for me? A dictionary or literature?
I wonder if dictionaries even exists in this time.
I don't know. I mean,
he's probably not working on a dictionary. He's probably working on some sort of, I don't know if you would call it treatise or I don't know, something like, a text about the language and like, common phrases and like. But it says, I have some writings on like I've been doing research and I've learned, at least to speak the language decently myself. But for you to learn it, well, first of all, having all this copied to, or having a significant portion of it copied and so on, is going to cost some money.
I say, money is no.
Okay.
I'll say, all right. So, how much are we talking then?
They'll probably charge you like. So they're just going to copy it to like parchment, probably. You need someone who can write, but it's relatively common. 30 gold, maybe. And it's just, you could have it done in a few days. If you insist on doing self-study on this.
Yeah. Do you have something I could take home right now to get started?
It's just, sure, I could, he finds some parchment stuff. He's rolled up, basically, and so sort of like lying in like behind him in sort of a pile with a lot of parchment. Like he has to look through it and like, it's not this one, it's this one, right? And eventually he finds a couple like scrolls of parchment, and he sort of wraps them up and it says stuff, and it says, yeah, these are sort of discarded like pages I was working on, and notes and such that are of no use to me anymore, since the master copy is sort of a newer version on these, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd let you have them for free, just because it's nice to see someone else who's interested in language and learning around here.
Bond over that. All right, I'll give him 3 platinum coins.
Sure.
On spec to give him. And I'll take the scrolls and stuff. I'll say thank you very much, and then I'll take my leave.
Yeah, so it's getting pretty late now. Like
yeah, I'm just heading back to the inn and
sure,
and getting to bed.
Your thing includes.
No, it does not include.
No, it does not include Instay. Okay. Do you remember what it's like? It's like 2 gold, right? I really should write this down. Let's just say 2 gold. Yeah. Does it really matter if you look it up and it's 1 instead, right? Not really.
I mean, it's starting to matter. I started today with 350, is that what we said? I'm down to 79 gold.
Yeah.
So it's like
you
280.
Spent a lot of money this session. I'm kind of keen on, because there's some things I'd like to resolve. So I'm kind of keen on doing another hour if you're up for it.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
But I want to get some Pepsi. So let's do our little break, right? So you headed back to the inn.
Yes.
Let's retroactively do a perception check as you leave Fort Goodsprings. Okay.
Shit.
And so we're back at the inn, and you can do another one as you arrive at the inn. You notice there's like a male desert elves in his 20s somewhere. It's hard to put ages on these people, right? And I mean 20s is as in like human years 20s, right? So it's much more years in Elven, right? But in that sort of stage of maturity, I guess it's more correct. and a young adult. I should say this at all.
That's an age category. That's for a young adult.
And like he's hanging around the stable, and he just seems a bit out of place.
Where is the inn, by the way? It's not actually marked on the map.
Yes, it's up here.
Is it Muttons? Oh, there it is. I mean, it is on the map. You made it all along.
Yeah, I told you it was sort of, yeah, whatever. Yeah, and it has its own stables and stuff, right? And he's hanging out at the stables. But yeah, it's like, it's just, you get a bad vibe, right? Yeah, like you notice, like, it's like he's doing stuff around the stable, but he doesn't seem to, like, actually be doing it. Like, he moved, like, you know, a bundle of hay from one spot to another that didn't seem to do anything, and it kind of caught your eye. Yeah.
Is he armed? Can I see that?
You don't notice any weapons.
Right. Well, I'll just casually ask like, do I go inside or does anything else happen?
Yeah, that's the only thing I ask.
All right. So I'll, checking in, I'll just casually ask the inn guy with whom I've been made acquaintance. I don't recall his name.
Oh,
it's
shit,
possible I wrote it down.
Did we actually give him a name?
Yeah, because I tipped him a lot, and then we introduced each other. We introduced ourselves to each other, and then I don't remember what
I don't think I noted him down. He's not important.
He's not a key NPC. But I'll ask him if anything's been happening. Right? If anything's.
Well, he says, it's my last night of good business, People will be heading out of town tomorrow. But other than that, I mean, it's been quiet.
Right.
No trouble.
Well, all right. I'll, go
Is this only rumor I heard? Some strange man bought some slaves at the auction.
Yeah, what did you hear?
He tries, I don't know, someone in the crowd just raised their hand and bought some ragtag bunch of slaves. I mean, I didn't think much of it, but it's a bit
like
weird.
A real hero to me.
He gives you a bit of a look, but he's not one to meddle with people who pay coin, right?
Yeah. Well, just head up. I'll do the thing again, right? Do I actually have any string? I don't think so. No, I don't. I have a climber's kit. What does that include? Let's see.
Trying to jury rig some.
Yeah, man. Let's see. Climbers. Pitons, ropes, and other tools. Alright. I mean, I'll still be good enough with a rope, I guess. Or I'll, if it's a regular rope, I'll sort of untwine it and produce a piece of string from it.
Sure.
So I'll do the thing where actually I do have a thunderstone. How are the thunderstones activated?
Don't you just throw them and it's magic and shit?
Yeah, it's magic. But I mean, can I actually rig them to go off if someone opens the door? Is that a possibility?
Mm-hmm. I doubt it, but I'm gonna check. You throw this stone as range attack, strikes a hard surface or is struck hard. Yeah, so if you could make it be struck hard.
I actually could. Let's see. Right.
You're just walking around with your gun on your back this whole time, right?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it's...
No, I'm just checking.
Yeah, it's unloaded. We agreed on that, but yes, I do walk around with it. Why don't I get... It's a shit class, Gunslinger. Don't get Disable Device, it's a class skill. Alright, so I'll do this. I'll put the bag on the floor, or the stone on the floor. I'll tie a rope to my iron pot that I have with me, so that if the door is opened, the iron pot would fall down and land on top of the thunderstorm. I'm just hoping that'll go off. Should I roll something to do it?
Yeah, exactly.
I figured it would be a disabled device roll, but I can't do it untrained, unfortunately.
I was gonna... Is it disable the device to create traps?
I think so. And it's also to like manipulate traps. Let's see. Your skill at disarming traps. Your skill to sabotage simple mechanics. I think this craft.
Well, there's craft traps, yeah.
But I don't have that either. But can you? Yeah,
the craft checks always have to be trained, or don't?
No, you can roll untrained craft.
Yeah. So let's just roll craft traps. Yeah.
Right.
Seems like the most obvious thing to do.
But they can't win every time.
Yeah. Hmm. Is that something I should probably roll? Or... I mean, you rolled it now, so it's whatever. But maybe I should have rolled something like that. Do you know if you fail a check like that? That's the question.
I would probably see that it's really
done. I'm gonna say
shoddily done.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say you realize this probably isn't good.
Well, I'll be happy then. I don't think it would be a trap in the same sense if I were just to tie the string so that it would fall down the pan, and I'll ignore the thunderstone step completely. I don't know if that would consider a trap, right? Just a pan falling down.
So the string is attached to what exactly?
So the door opens inwards, I think, right?
Right.
So, I just tie a knot, right? That would the knot would untie itself if the door was opened, and then the string would completely.
Well, what's the
am I making sense?
Tied to?
I mean the handle and whatever that I can tie it to.
And how does it entwine itself?
It's just a knot that if you pull on it, you don't like it? Makeshift trap?
It seems like really convoluted and hard. I feel like this is still within your trap roll thing.
All right. Well, then I just he lets out a deep sigh, gives up on his makeshift.
Maybe it's my lack of
yes, and instead
like if you literally put the pan next to the door,
at the door, so
it falls.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it might make some sound, right?
Yeah.
But that to me is like that makes sense. But
sure.
This thread
sure. Yes. Moving on.
Okay, so you go to sleep with your amazing.
Yes, before I go to sleep, I start studying the Elvish.
Oh right, that's I mean, you got some time, so you can do some studying.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess it explains basic sentence structuring, and it lists some words and what they commonly mean, and like when it's some double meanings and some common phrases and whatever. So you're studying this shit. Mm-hmm. As long as you acquire that, as long as you have some time to study most nights and acquire that a copy from Gallius, mm-hmm. Then when you level up again, you can take the point.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So you go to bed. It's time to roll some shit. I mean, like RP'd for 3 hours, right? What kind of demon would be if I didn't try to kill
shoot
you?
someone, or attempt to and then miss horribly.
Is this the right one? Yes, it is.
So I just figure that he'll sleep with the weapons, maybe even like right next to the bed when he's seeing something shifty go down. So they're in like arm's reach, not even, right?
Sure.
Though still the musket is unloaded, obviously. Or obviously, it's not obvious, I guess, but it's unloaded.
So they wouldn't have that. Do. Okay. Sure. So they have to roll.
It's a they? Come on.
What? I didn't just slip up. I would never.
I used to watch a show, or a guy's YouTube channel, where he talked about esports production values, and like how you could with little means improve your production value with like industry tips. It was really good, but I don't remember anything of it. Should employ that in the future.
Okay. Anyway, you can roll perception, I think, is what you roll against stealth, right?
Yes, even though I'm asleep.
Yeah, whatever.
If I hear it, I guess. That is a good roll.
Yeah, so somewhere in the night, you hear the clang of your
looking for some love.
pan hitting the floor, and you're alerted by this. I give you a chance to make some sort of action or reaction, or
yes, I'll jump up. I'll put the, depending on how much time I have, I'll grab my repair first. I'm not in my armor and don't have time to put it on.
Yeah, I'm basically letting you do one thing, so grabbing a repair and
I was just like gonna throw the musket behind me, so it's like,
Yeah, like you get the musket out of the way and get out the repair. Sure, you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do a copy of this.
And then, do I have time to ready an attack?
No, we're just gonna roll initiative.
Yeah, sure. A token?
I was just wondering which was the most updated token.
I assume I'm at full HP.
There's a token here, but it's not full HP. Maybe it is on this page. No. Maybe it is on the main map. Yeah, I think this is the... what I was going to say before was linking your thing to sheet.
That's up to you, man. I can't do that.
Yes, I'm going to link it to your HP. So now this is 19 of 30. That's what's in your sheet.
Yeah, but I haven't updated the sheet, though. We just started this.
Okay, so your max HP is correct, though?
Yes.
I just set it to your max HP.
30. Alright, initiative. 22.
0.06. Hey, it even updated.
Yes. Hacks macros.
And... we're just gonna get some fucking random tokens. Don't really matter.
We should copy the stuff from the other campaigns.
What stuff from the other campaigns? So, here's basically the room, right? So that's the door. room is probably something like this in size and very big. Here's your bed. So there was like a small desk thing, right? And a chair, and then there's a window over here. What an amazing drawing!
So what's
the door is like this right now, but I'm not going to draw it. No.
So what's this wall? It's just
that's the hallway.
Yeah, all right.
The hallway's like here.
Let's see.
Yeah, so this guy's just... Oh, they should be next to the wall. Then over here... There we go. That's my encounter. Took me a long time to prepare this in session prep. So, yeah.
Fucking misspell it on everyone.
Oh, I had the... Oh no, I did add it. Oh my god, I'm amazing.
Yes, you are, Magnus.
I have a thing that lets me just click a token and then it gets a... So if I just click this button, it gets initiative. You can have like macros that show up when you click a token, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I just have it to, like, it gives me a pop-up to enter the initiative score, and then it rolls and adds it to the thing. It's so good. So you go first. You have your rapier. This guy's coming through the door.
But is the door closed or open now?
The door's open. He was sort of opening it, so I'm just gonna... Let's just say it's open.
Mm-hmm. Do we have anything in reach to... Like, so... Oh, I'm not in the turnover for me now. I mean, gone. Just those three.
Okay. Just add... Roll again and I'll put you at the top. Because you were at the top. Oh, you're certain at the top now.
Do you have something in reach to kick to sort of block the door? Or like to throw?
Door.
I mean,
the closest thing is this chair, right?
Yeah, the
and
chair.
I assume your backpack is like at the foot of your bed or some shit, right?
Yeah, but I know it's gold in there, man. All right, so I'll take my 5 foot step back.
I mean, there would be a chamber pot under your bed, probably.
I'm proficient with those, as has been established previously.
Yeah, you should have done a poopy before you went to bed.
Yeah, that's what she did on. Okay, so I'll take the chair, throw it at the door to try and create some sort of obstacle.
And treat it like an improvised throwing weapon attack.
Sure.
So it's minus 4 for improvised, right? And that's about it. I'm just gonna say it's an attack on him, really. So it's 22 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be
sure. If now that I succeeded, I can say yes, it is an attack. Otherwise, I think I would have ended for the ground, like in front, which is an AC of 5. But it succeeded, so it's on him. No, it's fine.
I mean,
if
no, I wasn't gonna say that you don't manage to block the door if you don't hit, right? Because any fool can throw a chair in the general direction of the door, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, if you're gonna roll anything, it makes sense to roll him. Yeah, so you roll damage. This is like 1d4, right, for a club or something? A club is 1d6, maybe?
I love open source. Have I said that before? Let's see. Club is 1d6 for medium.
Yeah, this is a club. It's probably
plus strength modifier?
I guess you do get that, don't you? Yeah.
I assume, yeah.
You should look it up.
4 damage.
I should make one of these to roll HP too.
I'll also so when I look at these guys now, I figured I grabbed the rapier. I see that the door is open, and I asked, turn around and sort of spin, grab the chair with my left hand, whatever, and as I complete the spin, toss it at the guy at the door. But then when I actually have a look at him, What does he look like?
Yeah, so you throw a chair at him. That's your turn, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I still have my move, I guess, technically.
Okay. You want to move?
But I don't...
Oh, no, you shifted 5-foot step.
Yeah, but that's a 5-foot step. It's a swift action, Magnus.
But you can't take a move on a 5-foot step.
No. I mean, I have my move action if I want to do a move
Oh, right.
action.
Yeah.
But it's not... because I could...
Are you gonna...
technically load my musket.
Are you gonna ask the question? I don't really care about the hypothetical.
Could I load my musket?
You have to pick it up
if it's on the ground.
I don't think you can.
Yes, then yes, I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah,
I'll, study it closely as my move action.
Yeah, this guy.
Weaknesses.
This guy just. He looks like the guy you saw outside the inn before. You don't, not that it's necessarily exactly him, but like same general age group, quality of clothing and so on. Mm-hmm. It just has like, well, it appears to be like the most cheap ass short sword you could ever get, right?
But they're all elves, or the one I can see.
You can see. Let's say you can see these two really, and so yeah, they're both elves, both of the same general age and description. And I guess this guy just...
So I'll yell, what's the meaning of this?
You don't get a reply.
Then I'll yell, in my very broken... have I memorized a word that would be like what? Or who, maybe?
I mean, there's nothing saying you would have the appropriate words. I'm just going to say you don't know.
I'm going to roll 1d100, and if it's 100, I know the appropriate word. How's that?
Sure. I'll give you that. You don't know the appropriate word. And then, after some serious turn holding, this guy enters the room.
So
steps up to you and attacks you with a short sword.
So does the chair actually do anything?
Yeah, it's rough terrain.
Yeah, but that's all that.
I mean...
Yeah, sure.
What else is it going to do, right?
No, that's fine.
This plenty of moves.
It's about 15.
So you did damage to him. I forgot to note it. How much did you roll? 4?
For that, yeah, 4 damage.
So you got a chair in the face. So you came in as he came inside, but he seems undeterred. As like this is breaking out, you do start hearing a little bit of commotion, like people waking up around you, like the nearby rooms, and I mean, I guess you don't really hear that much else because you're kind of in combat mode. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So I think I specifically asked for a room without a window. Is this supposed to be a window?
Did you ask for a room without a window?
Yes.
Then there's no window there. I mean, for purposes of this encounter, I just do something quickly.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Didn't realize it was that important.
I mean, it's, I think I would have benefited from having a window there now.
Sure, I trust you.
Give me something to flee out of. But
16 versus AC?
Let's see. So it'll be my touch. I think it's 15. Yeah, 15. So it's a hit.
Why is it your touch?
Because I don't have armor on me.
Oh, right. Of course, you don't update your sheets. It's 1d6 for short sword, right? I feel like that's true. Yes. So you take 7 damage.
Ouch! Tough guy.
And no, that was a mistake by me. You take 5 damage. Added his attack modifier to the damage roll instead of his damage modifier. Whoops. But I mean, get hit with a couple of short swords.
It happens, Magnus. Can't target me. It should be my turn though, right?
Nope.
Right.
So
they are delayed.
Yeah. So we can walk through that, right?
That delaying your action permanently puts you in that
yes.
initiative position?
You can get there.
One more guy.
Yeah, you can get there. Yeah. So, that's a crit. Let's see if he confirms. He crits on his confirmation.
I'm sure that happened. Yeah, crits on the confirmation.
I can print screen. Wait,
1 in 40, Magnus. Yeah, show it
this
to
will
me.
be a spoiler, but
I mean, it's gonna be doctored, right?
unfortunately, we don't have like fucking double crits or shit like that. That'd be amazing. So it's not that much damage, but it's this much damage twice. So it would be 12 damage.
I'm down to 13. Lucas looking beat up. Taking a short sword to the liver or something, I guess.
Yeah. And then, see how far is it? He's just gonna go. You see, passing by the door, from the north in this drawing, a guy. I'm gonna say you recognize him. The guy who was one of your slaves.
Seriously?
Yes, he runs past the door.
That's great, Magnus.
Then it's this guy's turn, and he steps into the room. I guess he can jump up on the bed, right? He's got a high ground. I think that's +1 to hit.
I don't know. I don't actually know that rule. It's something
There
I've only heard you say.
definitely is a high ground rule. It's on the combat page.
High ground, +1.
+1 to hit?
Yes.
Yes!
Yeah.
Knew it.
Melee is +1.
And range
+0, yeah.
Which is kind of strange, but whatever. See if we can get some more crits. 12.
No, that's a miss. So,
Then it's
right, I guess this is where I die then. Fucking random night encounter.
It's not random though.
No, I guess
It's
not.
established.
But still. Alright. I'll, look to the guy who I then recognize. And I'll say, what the fuck? Then I'll just yell, like from the top of my lungs. Help, help! I'm being attacked! I'm being attacked! And I'll...
Sure.
Like, can I make some sort of noise with anything close by as a move?
I'm not exactly sure, but I'm guessing that would provoke an attack of opportunity if you just like pick up some random stuff.
Yeah, I guess picking up would be... Alright, so I'll do... Where is the musket now?
But yeah, there's an attack of opportunity to pick up something.
Where is the musket now?
I figured you threw like against the chair, where the chair was, basically like over here.
Yeah, alright.
Or like at the edge of the bed here.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think at my move action, if you would allow it, I would like put my feet on it and slide it like backwards into the room.
Sure, I'll let you do that. That's not worry.
Then I'll stab at the guy who I threw the... I think it's him who I threw the chair at. Alright. Give me a crit now. That's some shit.
So you guys...
Right, he flabbles wildly around Lucas, hitting nothing in particular, and I'll take a 5-foot step back to here to avoid getting flanked. So
Sure.
I figured I'll just draw it out. The musket is here. Okay, that's my turn.
And you hear some yelling. Now I guess you would recognize it as being Desert Elven, right?
Sure.
At least. And, some back and forth. Like, there seems to be someone yelling in Desert Elf quite far down the hall. And one of these... this guy yells back. And then he yells something to these guys. And...
And they go away?
Funny. So
I give
fun.
up. Surrender to the might that is Lucas Eaton.
Okay. How does that work? Okay, so yeah, okay. And then okay. Did I roll this guy's shit? No, I didn't. Ow.
You're rolling here. That's being done in secret.
So this guy screams out in pain. And
Did I see anything like fly by or?
no, I mean, I'm being pretty generous for information, to be honest. Like, you're seeing
sure.
through these guys.
Yeah,
into,
fine.
That would be... Yeah. This guy, I'm gonna, for dramatic effect, say falls forward and dies. You just hear, like, something happening, and he tumbles over.
Can I point at him to the others as a immediate action?
Sure.
Right, I point.
But they've noticed, obviously, there's a lot of commotion now. And, yeah, it's this guy's turn. Yeah, he's gonna step up to you. 20 versus...
Yes, it's a hit.
Have they rolled bad at all?
How are they this good, Magnus?
Oh, max damage. You take 7 damage.
Seriously? Oh, it's 6. 6 HP now. I think I do a potion, but it's probably in my backpack, since I didn't know it's done elsewhere.
So he's winning the fight, so they would do this. He would go...
Oh, sure. What did I do with the Thunderstone?
This guy goes out of the room.
Alright.
You don't really know what the fuck he's doing. And this one goes out of the room too. 3, 4, 5. You don't really get there. That one can attack though.
Is he looking hurt at all, this guy?
The guy threw a chair,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, he looks hurt.
What's the penalty for doing non-lethal? Is it -4?
You gotta start trying to do non-lethal damage right now.
I mean, I'm a nice guy. I want to kill elves. They're beleaguered.
Right.
I'm all about the beleaguered guys, right?
It's your turn again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of commotion out in the
yeah.
hallway now.
I'm just looking up what the penalty is for non-lethal.
Pretty sure it's -4 or something like that.
I think it's -4. Yes, you can use a weapon that deals non-lethal damage to deal lethal damage instead. Okay, it's the other way around. Yeah, but it's -4. My attack modifier is shit. And he did stab me. No, I'll attempt to stab him back. I'll say, "What the fuck, man?
What the fuck, man?"
On your fucking side." And I'll stab at him with a rapier. 15. Is that it?
That's a hit.
For 3 damage. And can I take a 5-foot step on top of this square, even though the musket is in it?
Yeah, sure.
Right, take a 5-foot step back.
And it's end of your turn. You hear shouting and a door slamming. And then this guy will do this. Dun, 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 dun.
So
you hear someone yell.
After actually being stabbed?
I mean, he's been stabbed, right? But for a guy who's been stabbed, he's pretty healthy.
Spry still.
You hear some yelling from outside. Someone yells, "Are you okay in there?" And then you hear some sort of, fighting going on. Ooh.
I yell, nope. Pretty sure. I'll say I'm badly injured, bleeding.
Okay. Oh, that's a miss. Okay, that's then of
That's a secret person's turn.
And then it's this guy's turn again. And he steps up to you.
Oh, him.
What else is he gonna do?
Less than 15, come on.
7.
Yes!
That's disappointing.
Yeah. In the fucking finger. So to get for messing with the warrior!
And he gets 5, which is terrible. And he rolls a 6. What's with these fucking rolls?
I think it's fair.
7, 5, 6.
Fair rolls, Magnus.
And then it's your turn again.
Yeah. So
Now you're cornered, though.
Yeah. I mean, he's
got you where he wants you.
Yeah, I bet. I'll say, do you want to die tonight?
Okay, you want to try to intimidate? I think this is a standard action, isn't
Yes, it is a standard action, but no. I'm just gonna say, I don't want to kill you, friend. If you just run away, I'll let you go.
Sure. You say that.
No.
No discernible response.
All right. Then I say, all right, and I'll.
The note, you haven't heard this person speak common, so.
Yeah, I'll repair him.
No, you won't.
I'll attempt to. Swing wildly.
You would have done a lot of damage, though, if
Yes.
you hit him.
It's a max damage roll.
That will be a hit.
Stuff fucks the guy up.
Ooh, bad roll. This guy would. Oh my god, my system would do this so much faster.
How is that going, by the way? Are you writing all that down, all the stuff you have?
Yeah, but I mean, I keep going back and forth. It's hard, man.
How much of a document is it?
I mean, I tend to just like jot stuff down in Excel,
Yeah.
so I mean, if I were to
100
put that into Word pages,
200?
what did you say?
200 pages?
No.
300?
I delete things when I discard it, so it's probably less than 10
I mean,
pages.
the player's handbook for 5e, which is it's a small.
My goal is that my
rules.
whole
like
rule system
300.
should be 5 pages or less.
5?
Yes.
All right.
That's without the modules that make a setting. They can be up to 5 pages too.
But with
So
races?
max.
Like with races and classes, it's 5?
The races would be in the setting one.
Classes?
Yeah, classes too.
All right.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Yes.
Yeah, you hear more clashing of swords and swinging, and there's guys still yelling to you, "We're coming for you! Hang in there!" And you hear an elf go like, "Ah!" Just get stabbed, you know.
The owl sound.
Is that better?
Yes.
It's pretty realistic. I don't know. I've never stabbed anyone in the throat before. That's why. If I was gonna guess, it would be something like that. And this guy swings at you for 8.
It's a miss, Magnus.
It's a miss.
I'm getting the upper hand, slowly but sure.
This guy's down. And then this guy, you can do like disengage shit, right?
Yes.
Just, like, double your move, so he fucks off.
It only affects the square you're in.
Yeah, I know.
For avoiding it.
And it's your turn again.
Right. I will once again scream, "Your friends are dead. You can just run." Your friend ran. Did I see that? I mean, you said it. It's happened, so I'll assume I see it.
He looks behind him, like he gives a quick look, and no, that doesn't mean you get an opportunity attack
No.
or
That's
anything like that. And he he just like he's still holding his weapon, but he just like to see if you're tricking him. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
Then
if he lowers his,
then he drops his weapon.
We're sort of engaged, right?
Yeah.
And
So he steps back a bit.
then
he's signaling.
Then I also hand raise, and
Okay. Yeah, drops his weapon and sort of surrenders.
stab him. No,
we can go out of turn.
Yeah.
Because these guys.
So,
we can
but
use
he's
the token layer.
Still in the room.
What did you say?
I mean, he surrenders to me. He has his weapon and.
So he backs up, and this guy heads down the hallway. After that guy.
Do I see who that was?
Who was?
The guy who's in the hall. Is it someone I know?
I mean the guy with on your side?
Yeah.
No, it just looks like a guard when they were on spy. This is like, I mean, kind of looks like they were together, right? And this guy is clearly one of the inn's guards. And he sort of comes in and it's like, oh, okay, blah, 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 and starts apprehending this guy.
Yeah. I'll say, I'll display my wounds, which are numerous and deep. And I'll say, you guys got here right in time. Thank you. Who are these people?
So this guy gets like tied up and put against the wall. And he's like, the guy asked you a question. Why? Who are you? What are you doing here? And he's just looking at you like quizzically, like, me no bueno. I don't know what you say when you're... Doesn't speak the language.
Right, so I'll say to the guard, check out his belongings if he has anything on him. I'll check the two in the hall.
Sure. He sort of starts patting him down. And
yeah,
you go.
I'll move out. I'll when I move out, I'll look down to see if what's happened with those guys, if I can see or hear anything. Those run away.
There seems like, so you know this, right? Since you've been here before, although we didn't like really talk about it, but there's sort of another staircase. It seems to be where, like, if you order room service, right, a servant would come from there. So it's probably down to like the back rooms and stuff. And so they've already headed down the stairs and outside, right?
Right. Well,
it's probably from there you heard that voice, the fifth voice.
Yeah. I'll, hope he's got it under control.
So you check these guys out?
Yeah, I'll, just a quick, not looting, but a quick look over to see if I can find any identifying at all, anything that would give a hint as to who they are.
They're not wearing armor. Well, actually, they have like improvised armor. You know how, I don't know if you would actually do this in prison, but it's a scene in with Omar in The Wire where he straps a phone book to his torso, right? I imagine like they did something similar, just like strap a wooden plate to their chest under their shirt, right? Maybe if someone stabs at you, it helps you, right? I gave them one armor for it. I don't know if that's...
I'd say, yeah, sure.
I just feel like you do something,
it is the middle,
right?
But like a leather armor, like a full leather armor, that's 2, right? So
yeah, I know. But you can't like give
one is
0.5 armor, right?
Yeah.
So it's a bit awkward. I don't know. But I feel like you would do something if you're going into combat, right?
Yeah, sure.
Even if you don't have armor.
I guess you could do a half, technically, right? If you like...
And then roll a coin, like flip a coin every time.
Maybe. If it hits, like, yeah, I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah, so they got like chipped. It seemed to be like, used really cheap, rusty short swords. They're clearly slaves. From what clothes they're wearing and stuff. Like if you see a desert elf that's like free or working like for someone for a long time, like they're not like the general slave population, right? Like they've already been acquired by someone here and lived under them for a while. They would wear more appropriate dress, right? The people you've seen at the bar and such. These guys are cleared of that sort of general class of prisoners. Or prisoners, or slaves, rather. They don't get much valuables, being slaves and all.
Yeah.
Except one guy.
One of these?
Yes. The guy you recognize as the guy who was your slave.
Mm-hmm.
He's got... he's still got 5 gold pieces on him.
I guess those are technically mine, but...
I guess you had 4 gold pieces and a couple silver, actually. I think about it.
I think about what I bought with his money. All right, I just go into the room again and say I didn't find anything. They seem to be slaves, dressed in nothing. Rags.
This is fucking crazy, man. What were they doing here?
I don't know. I bought this one of these guys on the auction, but I set them free and I gave them money, 30 gold pieces, or 6 gold pieces each.
He kind of gives you lip. It's like, dude, what the fuck you do that for? It's
a spur of the moment thing.
I mean, yeah. Brought this on yourself, man. Trusting these people. And so spits on the floor. It's your room, so it's like a bit.
Yeah. I just look at his spit, then I look at him, then I look at the spit.
We send a runner. Get some of Jarif's men down here. Sort this mess out. Get a translator.
I think I can handle it if.
This is no. Like,
if you let me.
He's insisting. He's like, we gotta do this properly, man.
I think.
People were someone's property, right? You gotta get things straight. I don't want to be accused of.
Sure, but I can come along, I guess.
No, I mean, like, we've sent a runner already.
Yeah, but when they come here and grab the people, I'll.
I mean, that's up to Sharif's man.
Sure. He likes me.
He's totally not suspicious of you.
For me.
Yeah.
I'm his favorite son.
So this guard, so another guard joins after a little bit, and when it's like sort of all clear, so people poke their heads out of their rooms, they're like, "What the fuck's going on?" And people are scared, some women crying type thing. Because I'm being, my usual misogynist self.
I was wondering how much that would show when we later analyze these videos, Magnus, for proof.
And the innkeeper also comes, and he sort of gets a assessment of the situation, and they sort of move everything downstairs to the common room while they wait for Jarif. So, except for the blood and stuff, I mean, you can sleep in your room if you want to try and get some rest.
No, I'll stay with the guy we took captive.
Yeah, he's down in the common room.
Yeah.
Like they carry the bodies outside though, because no one wants to have a bunch of bodies in the common room, right? But he's been held in the common room, I think that's a decent stopping point.
Is it?
Leave you with some questions.
Leave me with only questions. Or,
if we could go a little bit further if you want to, actually. If you want to try and get some answers before we start.
I'd prefer to if you're up for it.
Sure.
Yeah, go. Let's
go. Okay, so eventually, Jarif doesn't show up, some of his guards, they wear like tabard type things where they're recognizable, right? Remember exactly what I told you their symbol was. I probably have it written down somewhere, but it's not so important for now. You recognize them at least.
Yeah.
And they arrive. You sort of get a assessment of the situation. They mark some orders at the guards and stuff like that. And they kind of handle this elf pretty roughly, pushing him, up from his, he's sitting in the common room, right? and sort of pushing him out the door, and they commandeer a cart and a horse from the stables.
Do they talk to me at all, or do they just come in, grab the guy?
Unless you insert yourself into the situation.
No, I very much
they
do,
don't
yes.
Yeah, okay, so they sort of started doing this stuff, right? And you insert yourself into a situation like, yeah, well, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, they attacked me, and they're like, yeah, we'll get to you, you know. You got to come with us, and, you know, we got to get a full report, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they come in there, a cart and a horse, and they load up the bodies, and they start heading up the hill with you. And one of the guards is kind of like questioning you on the way, but it's more like the curious kind of questioning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like the official, it doesn't feel official at least.
Mm-hmm.
It just asks you what happened. So I'm wondering what you tell him.
Yes, what do I tell him? I mean, I think I'll be sparse on detail until we get to some official taking down of notes. So I'll just say I was, you know, what happened from the moment I was woken up. Like I was awoken in the night. People barged into my room, 4 of them. They, you know, I screamed. They didn't stop, and then, you know, we fought. Then I was saved by the inn guards.
Okay. So eventually you get to... they basically got like... you remember that jail in Morningshade?
Mm-hmm.
Where there's like 2 jail cells and like a sort of an office, but like a desk type thing inside there.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, thing guard. We basically got something very similar in the fort. You know, I think by now you've realized it's sort of like a temporary holding thing where it's like we're gonna get this shit sorted out, but you know the people who sort this shit out are asleep right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Do they recognize me at all? Like, is it acknowledged at any point that I, at least for a time, was employed by Jarif? For, you know, I guess it was a special mission.
Yeah, I don't think you're recognized by anyone.
Yeah, all right.
And yeah, so they stuff him in one of those cells, and there's a guy there. He's much more official looking than the guy who was in Morningshade.
Yeah.
No, he even writes something in a book. When they sort of look him up, and they say, you know, they tell you we'll question him in the morning, but if you could give your report, you know, now, that would be excellent.
Actually, I'm an employee of Jarif myself, and I'll appreciate it if I could, or I'll sound more authoritative and assertive, I think, and I'll say like I'm an employee of Jarif myself, and I'll report to him personally.
So you're trying to let this guy do something. I guess you could roll diplomacy for this. Like, this guy is really like... if you want to be a bit harder in your tone, you could roll intimidate. But this guy, basically, you get the sense that he wants to just, like, get his part of this thing over with, sure. Right? And if you don't take a report, like, he has to, like, go through the trouble of making sure you... or like if you don't go report to Jarif and he lets you off, you know, he's in trouble, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean...
It's really insisting you take the report now.
Yeah. I mean, I have a 5 intimidate, where it's a -1 diplomacy. I don't want to be harsh on the guy, so I'll roll the diplomacy and try and be cordial. 6.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. It's like, yeah, well, I haven't seen you around these parts, so I'm afraid we're gonna have to stick to the plan and we'll take your report now. Then I think you're gonna have to get yourself patched up. It looks at you like you got wounds.
Yes, I am badly wounded. I'll ask him where. I don't, you know.
Where you get patched up?
Yeah, it's a. Doctor?
We got a guy. Yeah, they bring in what would pass for a doctor in this place. So while they're taking your report, so they take you to another room, right?
Putting, what are those, that suck blood? What are those called?
Leeches.
Leeches. Leeches on me. That's the general prescription.
Medical technology isn't that bad. But he bandages you up, cleaning your wounds, stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, he's not really gonna heal you, but and he does this while you're sort of questioned for this report, and you're basically asked to just like detail the situation. Is anyone who's out to get you?
Yeah. I'll go with things were happening so fast. I'll just say that I was attacked in bed. Things were happening so fast I don't remember what. I was awoken abruptly. I defended myself, and I was rescued by. I'll say that I saw 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 people. No, I don't say that. I say I saw 3 men fight me or attack me.
Okay, so he's sort of writing this stuff down, and he just wrinkles his he frowns, and then he's like, and then it's like you're not really sure what he's thinking. And
I know what he's thinking. Fucking cops.
Can you roll me another diplomacy check?
Right, so for 20 this time. Oh. 17?
Well, that's plenty.
That's a good roll. So 18.
You only needed a 10 to get to just walk out of here. Not sure why I told you that.
It's your nice guy, Magnus.
It seems to...
Deep inside.
It seems to, if not buy your story, like he doesn't see any reason to keep you around. It's like he does this thing, and he's like, yeah, okay, we're gonna question this guy, and you mentioned something about being employed by Sharif, right? So you should probably come. Should probably come back here tomorrow and set some of this stuff straight. But for now, if you wanna get out of here, then
yes. What's gonna happen to the guy you called in?
Oh well. Hopefully beat some information out of him and some sense into him. Gotta wait for a translator, no? And the guard says, because there's a guard in the room, right? There's the guy interviewing, and there's a guard. Yeah. And the guard says something like, but we can start the beating early, get him warmed up. And he sort of laughs in like a gruff way. It's like when you play Dota.
I don't know. It's a meme, Magnus? It's a Twitch meme?
That's how people laugh in some weird Peruvian languages or some shit. I don't know.
Well, it's, Luke is thinking of ways to avoid the beating of the man.
I like this. He's like trying to kill you, but
Yeah, it's coming up empty. I mean, it's, they're the underclass, Magnus.
Right.
They're the product of their upbringing, just as everyone else.
Oh my god.
Of the institutionalized,
Get it.
But all right, he can't, or I can't come up with a good enough, can I take him home? Suggestion.
So, I'm gonna beat him. Can I take him home?
I'm good at beating. Can I do it at my home alone? So I'll just leave, and if nothing else happens, go back and try to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, so, there's a bit of, people asking questions and yada yada at the inn, but, it's not really interesting to you, probably. Like, so like, the innkeeper's like, what the fuck was that, and stuff. I assume you just give him the same bland story, like, when they came out of it, And so, you get up in the morning, you don't have they've already cleaned your room as best they can, like, try to scrub away the blood and stuff, but I mean, you can see there's a stain there and stuff, right?
It's just my blood, so it's sound on the floor, I guess, when I hit the guy for 3 damage. The rest of it's me.
Yeah. So really it's quite sanitary, right? Because it's just your own blood.
I mean, your own blood is fine, I think. For health reasons.
So you can get up in the morning and...
Do I get HP for the rest?
No. I would call that an interrupted rest. And I presumably you go back to, check on the...
Yes, first thing, absolutely, yes. I'll, if I'm not stopped or anything else, I'll go down to the dungeon to check on the guy.
Down to the dungeon, the one that was in the main...
Where they held him in the jail.
Oh. Yeah, so you go to where they held him and he's not there.
Right, I'll ask the guard or whatever.
Move him to the dungeon. That's why I was surprised you went straight for the dungeon. I was like, I don't know, that's perceptive of you to skip the step.
You're the guy who's like, we can skip the step where you do that. It's not really necessary. But this step where I go to the wrong place first, that's required. Alright, I go to the dungeon.
I was just surprised. I don't know. Whatever, it's really unimportant. Yeah, you go to the dungeon.
Yes.
And, I mean... Hey, you could probably go down there. So you come down by those... we talked about those chairs and tables, right? Or the table and chairs, rather. So at the top of the corridor. Mm-hmm. There's 2 guards sitting there. Playing cards or something. And they're like, when you come down the stairs, they're like, hey, you're not supposed to be in here. What are you doing here? And they're like really lazy about it. They're just like literally like playing their cards and like looking at their cards and like, yeah. And they're just like, hey, you're supposed to be here, and like keep playing.
Yeah, I remember. So first I'll try to just, let's nod, like acknowledge that they say it and then move on. See if that's... Like,
just keep moving down the stairs?
If they stop me, like they get up from their card.
As you come down the stair, one of the guys like takes his boots off the table, like his feet off the table, puts his cards down and sigh, and then walks up to you and it's like, man, dude, come on, you're not supposed to be down here.
Is this the same guy who I gave a hard time about Rodana when I was here last time?
No, you don't recognize this guy.
I thought I already had a guy who I had successfully intimidated, so you remember I was a badass.
I know the guy you're talking about.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I know the guy you're talking about, but this isn't him.
This isn't him. I'll say I came to check on the prisoner from last night.
He looks back to his buddy and he's like, why would you be checking on the prisoner from last night? What do you know about that?
I was the guy who, I'll show him the wounds, the bandages.
It's like... shrugs and looks at the other guy again. And there's like some nodding of heads back and forth.
It's for the investigation. Don't worry about it.
Shrugs. He's over there. Just points down the hole. He doesn't really seem to care.
Yeah, I'll go down.
You don't seem, you're not a desert officer. You're sort of presumed innocent.
Exactly. Oh, the upper class.
Yeah, man. You got fancy boots, right?
Yes, very fancy.
Just making a difference.
Get me access.
I'm not even kidding. It's important. And so you walk down the hall and you just in one of the cells. This guy's sort of lying there against the furnace wall, looking pretty beat up.
But Like how beat up? Are we
Like,
talking like permanent? You know, or bruises and like a broken nose. Anything?
it looks about how I would look if I fought John Jones.
There's a reference I don't get.
It's the best pound for pound use fighter in the world, MMA fighter. It's pretty fucked up.
All right. But you know, they don't.
Like it's literally like not moving.
And he's, you know, unresponsive, I guess. I just like yell or like try to get his attention or whatever. Like, oh.
Can you roll perception?
I can roll perception. It's a bad roll.
You notice like you know he's got some blood coming out of his mouth, and you notice like it bubbles a little bit. Presumably he's breathing, but you know it seems to be faint at best.
All right. I'll go back to the guards and I'll ask, what did you guys do to him? He looks...
Worm says, I didn't do nothing.
I sigh. So what did the guys who did it to him do to him?
Asked him some questions. I don't think he answered.
Yeah, looks like it. All right. What are your names for the investigation?
Oh my god, Victor.
We can just call them God 1 and 2 if you...
No.
I just thought I'd...
It's Frank and Dan. Because I know how much you hate Twitch memes, and Frank from Franker's Said, and Dan from Dan's Game. They're Twitch emotes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Right. Didn't know that.
Gonna start naming all the NPCs after Twitch emotes.
Sure, I don't care. You can name them after whatever you want, Magnus. Whatever pleases you. Don't put a smile on that pretty face.
Frank and what did I call him? Dan. Sure. What were you doing?
Yes, you know, it's a psychological trick he's picked up. Where asking people for their names in certain situations puts people off edge.
Sure.
Like they're going on record as for whatever they've done.
Yeah, I get it. They don't seem to give a shit though.
Yeah. Right. I'll head up to Jurif's.
Yeah. You can go basically straight in and visit with Jarif
I mean,
if you wanna.
If no one stops me, I just do it. I don't even care.
Yeah, you walk up there. Actually, you walk past some sort of some woman. I don't know if you remember her, but she seems to remember you. She gives you like a nod.
I give a smile and a tip of the.
Tip of that,
Yeah.
milady.
I'm a lady her, and
Yeah, you walk in Jarif's office. Do you knock?
no.
Oh my god. So you step in, you know, he's deep in his work. He looks at you, he's like...
Do you
You
recall
really
the
need
last
to
time I
look.
was in Jurif's office?
The last time you were here was when you were explaining that situation, right?
Oh, okay, the time before that, when he employed me. I did the feed on his...
On his desk.
yeah, my feed on his desk thing.
I believe he made you take them down, right?
Sorry?
I believe he eventually made you take them down.
Yeah, I mean, I just, you know... I
Like
did
the tension got... Yeah.
Sorry. Doesn't this offend you? My feet on your desk? I'm sorry, I'm taking them down.
Yeah, okay, you go inside and he gives you like a stern look and he's like, you really need to learn to knock. You're not making many friends around here.
Oh, sorry?
Yeah, he seems like generally a bit like... not on edge, but like... He doesn't have that like... He was a little bit like friendly and conversational with you before. More so than...
Friendly is the word I use.
Okay, enough, but you know what I mean, like, even if he wasn't being friendly, he was at least like making the effort to try and appear as if he was friendly, right?
Yeah, sure.
Cordial,
Yes.
yeah. And but now it seems like the facade is broken down. And he's like, and what do you want?
Do you hear about the event last night?
He nods.
It was
Sure.
me, if you didn't hear.
I heard some guy with a fucking stick on over his shoulder. Figured it was you.
Oh, yes, it was me. Do you know who they were, what they wanted?
We got some good information on that guy.
Like what?
Well, his buddies seem to think they could bring you in for a reward.
To whom?
To me. But seeing as you brought yourself in,
Yeah,
you,
I've nothing to hide. Do
I
you have
guess
any?
you
Are you
did
looking
that
for me?
for them. Well, I wasn't. But, these men seem to be under the impression that you are somehow connected to Rodana's disappearance.
I yes, shrug. All right.
So you're probably gonna have to make like a bluff at some point, but we could just do some RP and see how hard it would be.
Yeah.
Just needs to have like a chance of failing, right? And
I've a good chance. I'm shit at bluffing.
and like he sort of sits up, right? Like you know how like you're talking to someone and reading the paper, and then when they put down the paper, now something's up, right?
No, the glasses come off.
Yeah, the glasses, right? It sits up, and he sort of folds his hands like this. It's like, look, shit's really starting to stink around here, and wherever I find shit, wherever I follow the smell, you seem to be there.
What can I say? I'm an impactful guy. I do my business.
Well, not very well, it would seem.
No, that is true. My sense of business has been off lately. I bought a bunch of slaves. Figured, I'd no one else bid for them at the auction. I figured I'd get them for cheap, but I was already sort of 200 was slightly more than I had anticipated when I I bought them. When I had a good look, they didn't really seem good for much. So I just wrote it off as a cost of doing business and let them go. They couldn't really help me, and I can't keep them around. It's, eventually it'll, right? You're a businessman, Reef. You know that. What's it called, Magnus? The like the
Driftsutgifter? Like
no, but the like the trap that some people get into where
sunk cost fallacy.
yeah, just because you've paid money into something means you have to see through. So I'll say I don't know. I know a bad deal when I see one. I made a bad deal, and it's gonna cost too much to see through or to keep them around for doing no work. So I gave them some cash to be on their way, and then I parted with them.
It says so when we interrogated this man, some names were mentioned. Could you tell me if you know someone named Narayan?
Yes.
Care to explain?
He works at the stable, I believe, where I keep my horse.
And why did you go to see him on Sunday?
I didn't really see him. He's a nice guy. When I leave off the horse, we speak about, he speaks a little common, which I've started studying the Elven language with the Gilius. So any opportunity I have to make some conversation, I try to. He's a nice enough young man. Seems to work hard.
Yeah. Do. I'm gonna. The hidden message is being transmitted.
If they mean it's a very believable story.
Yeah, that's not the
Yes,
thing.
up with that stuff, Magnus. I'm that good.
Jesus, it's what happened.
I mean, it's not, I went down there
You just skipped out the part where you did things that were criminal. But
Yeah.
otherwise, you just said what happened. It's gonna be the most basic bluff ever.
Basic. It's hardcore, man. Making up alternative universes.
This is really weird because, like, the sense motor skill says you can discern secret message
Yes.
as opposed to a bluff check. But in a bluff check, it says bluff is an opposed skill check against your opponent's sense motive. It's like weird. I guess if you want to actively check some, I don't know. I'm just gonna make you roll.
I think it's if you're attempting to bluff someone, and you roll against their sense motive. But if you are sense motiving yourself, then that doesn't roll against bluff. If you're trying to find,
if they're not bluffing, yeah.
Or if they're.
But I'm gonna make you roll bluff, and I'm gonna give him a penalty, I think, rather than giving you a bonus.
This might be it. It is a class skill. I should put a point in it. I'm at -1 right now. Do I have a DC I want to hit for the suspense?
I was gonna do it a post. I didn't really want to tell you how much I punish him for.
Yeah, alright.
I should roll first though, so I can like.
So you can do you're not gonna beat that.
I rolled.
You rolled, and here's my bluff. Get a -1. 2. You roll
Yeah.
2.
Even with a penalty, he beats a 2. Yeah, so it gets really serious all of a sudden. Like, you were kind of building up a bit of rapport back and forth, like you were getting back in your groove, and then he just like stands up and he yells for. He just yells out guard, and it's just like a moment later. The door. Remember when there was a servant who came into? Like, there's 2 doors in the room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guard steps through there. And he looks at you. He looks at Jarif. He looks at you. He looks at Jarif. And Jarif says, "I want you to arrest this man. We need to keep him for further questioning."
I don't resist at all. I just say, I would do the same if I were in your shoes. Sir, have I used anything with...
That's just you, sir.
Yeah,
I don't know how you would
respectful
refer to
before.
something with this title. I don't know how to pronounce.
Yeah, that's...
Why did I give him a title? I don't know how to pronounce.
I don't know. I'm guessing you checked up like what it's called in the Wild West or whatever, and then you just...
No, it's not from the Wild West. It's
or whatever.
a medieval thing, I think.
All right, so I'll say... there's no, I get it. However long you want to hold me, I have nothing to hide.
So you're taken to not the dungeons. There appears to be a separate jail.
For the VIPs?
Yeah, or for, normal people. It's not quite, it's not the dungeon, but it is in the basement. But it's like, it's not like, how should I describe it? When you get down there, first of all, there's only 2 cells, right? There's a couple holes up in the wall that give light from outside.
Mm-hmm.
Your reason you're at the, I told you basically the fort is a circle, right? And then the main building is sort of the back part of the circle, right? Mm-hmm. So your reason that you're basically looking out of the fort through these slits. Well, you can't actually look; it's too high. But
towards the yard or towards the.
Yeah, towards outside the fort. So not the
like north?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah.
And so there's like natural light coming in, right? And there's just 2 cells. There's not like a guard post set up, but there's some various like crates and stuff. That's some interesting stuff there. And in the cell, there's like a desk and a bed, and it's basic furnishing. But I mean, if you went to common inn, right, it would be about that standard. So you're getting like pretty decent treatment.
Yeah, saving money, really.
Yeah, you should get arrested more often.
I mean, homeless people do it. Why not Lucas?
I mean, they take your shit away, right? You get to keep your clothes, and if you want to keep, some other stuff that's a
Tanglefoot bag.
Weapon-like, they're probably smart enough to take a Tanglefoot bag. Unless you want to try to spy about some shit. They at least take your weapons.
No, I don't have any. I have my thieves' tools, which, like, if I could...
You didn't hide them, right?
No, I didn't hide them.
Beforehand, so they'll just...
If they would let me keep them, I would keep them. But, I figured they'd take them. Otherwise, I'm fine.
Let's just stay in the cell with your thieves.
I mean, they don't know what it is. Maybe.
Yeah, right. It's like literally lockpicks.
Why do you have these? Just for stuff.
I use them to,
lock myself out so often. Forget my key.
Anyway, they let you sweat in the cell for a day.
Do you wanna go even longer, or this feels like more of a natural break to me?
Okay.
I mean, I want to go longer.
I thought you wanted to get a bit of information out of Jarif, who's going to come question you.
I mean, if you want to go longer, I want to go longer.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, let's go.
I feel like, right now I've just been screwing you and you don't know why yet, so...
I mean, I have ideas.
But I want to go get Pepsi, though, if we're going to go a little bit longer. Gotta get my DM fuel. Well, I don't have a cape, but I can count to 20, so... 1 out of 2. Yeah, so they let you sweat for a day. And then, so, outside the cell,
Do I get HP for that night?
Sure. And, so you're brought some water, but you're not fed. So, you'll be pretty hungry the next day.
Mm-hmm.
They let you keep your scrolls that you got from, so you could practice your reading.
Excellent.
I was debating taking them from you because they might think it was like magic scrolls or some shit.
But we haven't encountered a single magic user yet.
Yeah, it's pretty low magic, so... wait, you haven't encountered magic users?
Nope. That I know of. No one has used magic, rather.
Yeah, that's fair. What do you think magic people do? Pew pew in the streets, like do magic.
Oh, yeah, wounds.
Anyway, so the next day, a woman comes down and she's carrying like a big tray of like various foods and stuff. So there's a table outside, where I said there was like some random junk and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Great. And there's a table. She cleans it off. There's just like some random stuff on it, and she starts sort of setting out this food and preparing it, and like it smells delicious, like it's cooked meat and I don't know, all sorts of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. You're pretty hungry at this point. And then while she's doing this, Jarif comes downstairs with a guard in tow, and he opens up the cell and he comes inside. He's leaving the door open.
Is the guard also in, or is he waiting?
Oh, he's outside. I mean, you're unarmed, right? And Jarif is carrying his black rapier. And
it had a name, which I don't recall.
Your character would probably remember the Stinger.
The Stinger.
And what a fucking original name. It must have been.
The Stinger. Wrote down in all caps. No one remember it.
He takes the chair from your study thing and motions for you to sit on the bed.
I'll stand. Let's say
okay.
I prefer standing when interrogated.
He sits down on the chair. It does it sits the wrong way on the chair thing, so you can lean on.
Yeah. Like the bear guy in Star Trek: The Next Generation. What's it called?
I've never seen Star Trek.
Tall guy. Oh, the way he sits down on chairs, it's an art form, I guess. We'll check it out. There's a montage on YouTube.
Okay. It's pretty awkward for you to be standing like that, but
that'd be cool. Lean against the bars, arms crossed.
You can't really lean against the bars. It's sort of pressuring you inside the cell, right? So you could lean against the wall.
Yeah,
but
I'm looking very non-intimidated and collected.
Okay. He still sits down, he's looking at you intently, and he says, look, I'd love it for the two of us to just, sit down and have a nice meal as friends. And, she's done preparing something, so she brings him, like, food, and he's, like, just eating. But he's not making a point of it, it's just, and, like, I thought he's not making a point of it, but he's not making a point of, like, any gestures or anything when he's eating, he's just eating. And he says, you're making it quite hard to call you a friend, and I'm starting to think that maybe you're not what I've thought you were, or what you've led me to believe. He's eating like a chicken wing or some shit.
Like that scene in Lord of the Rings, where no, it's in the.
I need some cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, exactly. He eats the cherry tomatoes and breaks like a bone off the chicken.
I didn't even think of that. He's not such a disgusting eater, to be honest.
It's just so decadent. Like forces people to watch him eat like that. I love it. All right, so I'll say it's nothing personal, Jarif. I think I've been, more than open with you during this process. I understood that there would be questions when I returned. Anyone would have, and I can certainly understand your need to, I'll, motion around, and I'll say, the need for this. But no one can say they appreciate being locked up, as I'm sure you understand. But if you are sharing the food, I'd gladly share it with you.
He doesn't sort of respond to that part, and he says, ever since you started working for me, strange things have happened. You under, mysterious circumstances, Rodana escaped while you were guarding her. And now some of the loyals, I just put a name out of my ass, but now they're called loyals. Some of the loyals thought they could hand you in for a reward. Overhearing you talking about something with Rodana's brother.
Who?
Rodana's brother, he says.
And who would that be?
Don't play coy with me. You can roll bluff if you wanna.
I mean, I'm gonna roll on natural 20 someday. That'll be
Sure.
the day that, the world sees the brilliance that is
The day that music died.
acting. Yeah. Right, let's see it. Bluff. Oh, 18? It's a 19 roll, Magnus. It's a very good roll.
Yeah, but I created, so
Sure.
it didn't matter. Do I always have to wait? I should just roll public if I have to show you every time. Yeah, so he says, you're not fooling me. I know that you know that Narayan is Rodana's brother.
Oh, Narayan. Sure. Yeah.
And you don't see why this, makes me suspicious of your actions. You're best buds with the woman who you were tasked to escort his brother, and, she goes missing. Two of you still hanging out.
I certainly understand.
You mentioning her name to him in front of your slaves.
I don't think I don't recall her coming up. I don't know why I would talk to Narayan about her. If that's what they say, that's what they say. But that's not how I remember it. Me and Narayan are, as I said, he speaks common. He's a nice enough guy. I would not say we are best buds. But
okay.
Certainly, yes, I agree with you that it is. I would want to investigate it. Where are you, Jarif? And I said so from the very beginning, if you recall, that if you want to look into me, I understand, and that's that. So what have you found? You know that I converse with Narayan. The elves had some idea that you would pay good money for me. What is your conclusion from this?
Sort of trying to stare into your soul. This is, well, to be honest, I got reports from my officers in Morningshade. She caused a bit of trouble over there as well. Coupled with the fact that you failed your mission to bring Rodana back here under suspicious circumstances, and your connection to her through her brother, I got plenty to see you hanged. This isn't really about what I figured out. It's about what you can tell me to make me spare your life.
I will say this. The only trouble I got into in Morningshade was disciplining their lazy asses for the way they had mishandled and it kept mishandling the situation up there. I any complaints from their side concerning me, I assure you, is purely from their spite of meeting someone who can actually, tell truth to their power of the haphazardly and lazy way that Thornton runs things up there. I didn't want to speak about it before. It's not my place to critique your employees, but if there has been allegations from that hole towards me about trouble, if you were ever to have time, I would suggest making an unannounced visit up there. Things are not run properly.
This is all besides the point, though.
Sure. If I don't know, don't really know what you're looking for, though. You say I should say something. If I'll say the conclusion you have drawn, Jarif, is wrong. I was not involved in her disappearance. I have done nothing but be open about this investigation. I'll what is it that you're... If I'm being presumptuous, if you'll allow me to be presumptuous, the conclusion I'm drawing is that you think that I orchestrated the disappearance of that slave woman, and that I helped Narain do it, maybe, or we did it together. I don't know where he fits in. He doesn't strike me as the fighting kind, or the one who would mount an attack or plan an attack to rescue his sister. But I have been wrong before about people, apparently. I would say that this evidence you have against me, that I have spoken to Narain, and I would say it doesn't prove my guilt, though you are of course well within your right to hang me if that was your this is your domains, and you suspect me of foul play. That's I think none of your equals, or like I'm trying to find the name for like the people in his position, like other rulers of similar whatever. Those people would probably not fault you, but I would hope you would give me some chance to show my loyalty and my dedication before jumping to this sad conclusion.
So he listens to your thing.
He lets me do the whole monologue.
And then his
patience you don't have, Magnus.
And then he shows you. I'll just use this. He motions to the woman who's still cooking stuff, and she brings over a scroll, and she shows it to you. And on the scroll, it's just a mark like this. like this. Ish. I made the last bit probably a bit too long.
Am I supposed to recognize it?
And that's what he asks you. Says you recognize this.
I do not. Though, I was jumped by a few thugs. I believe it was the night before I went to fetch Jordana. They were suspiciously well armed, and
were they elves?
No, they were not. They were two men, but they had much, equipment greater than I have. I found a tattoo on one of them, though that symbol does not ring a bell for me.
He seems disappointed. He says, for now you'll remain under arrest. I will at the very least grant you a formal hearing. But unless you're, if you ever feel inclined to share some information about me, and he says, shares me information with me.
Oh.
Perhaps the location of Verdana. He looks at you intently. Then perhaps such a hearing could be waived off. And yes, it would be a hearing about a possible execution. And he just gets up, sort of finishes his food. He has sort of finished his food. Just puts his plate down on your desk, right, and walks out.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gives like a nod to the woman, and she prepares, a plate for you and puts it in your cell, and then the guard closes it and locks it, and she packs up. And
I'll just, as he's leaving, I'll just ask, when is this hearing to be held?
What did you say?
When is this hearing to be held?
He sort of looks at the slits I talked about in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, when the time is right. And he leaves. So on the amount of fucked scale,
yes,
I don't know where you would estimate you are.
I'd say percent-wise, maybe 80. I'm not, super familiar with how much evidence they actually needed to execute someone, but he doesn't like me anymore, and they do not like I'm an outsider, so maybe 85. Is that fair, Magnus? 85%. That's good.
85 out of 10.
Yeah. 85 out of 100. 85 out of 10. That's crazy.
Need to check something.
Can you check something for how screwed I am?
I was gonna tease you even more and leave you on a proper cliffhanger.
Oh.
So, well, first of all, you're spending several days in the cell to the point where you start.
HP-wise, how much? How many days is that of rest?
To the point where your character starts losing track. But I'll give you the HP amount. But I'm gonna have to make a roll for exactly how long it takes. In this time, you're being fed reasonably, 2 meals a day. But there's good enough meals that you can leave a little bit to have for lunch and a little bit to have for a snack before you go to bed, right? It's no you're essentially pretty comfortable in terms of of food and water, and they empty your chamber pots. You're not living in like filth or anything, but you're also locked in a cell for quite a long time, right?
Does anybody go visit me at all?
So it's this woman who sort of sees you, so brings you food and stuff. But whenever they have to open your cell, there's a guard there with her. So like if they, did you get your chamber pot and some shit like that, right?
And technically, I think I had one friend who was just, if he was actually maybe two friends, depending on.
Anyway, I gotta do some mental math now.
That's the worst, mental math.
You can give yourself 9 HP.
9?
Or 9 knights of HP. You might have
knights.
con modifier, I don't remember.
Plus level, yeah, so it's 5 a night, so I'm up to full. More.
And so,
Try to level during this time?
do you have enough exp?
It depends. If getting thrown in a jail cell awards more than 1315 experience.
I don't think so.
Oh.
So the woman, right? Who's been helping you?
Mm-hmm. I feel like if she's the only sort of human contact I have.
Yeah, exactly. And she's not even human. She's one of the desert elves.
Yeah, I'll talk to her.
And you still have your scrolls to practice your desert elf, right? So you could probably say some basic stuff by now.
Yeah. And even if she doesn't respond, I'll just talk at her.
Yeah. She doesn't really respond, but she's not like being like looking down at you or like being rude or anything. It's more like it's not appropriate for her to respond or something, right?
Mm-hmm. I'll crack some jokes. See if I can make her smile.
And then, so after more than a week has passed, right? She comes down. She looks really fucking nervous. Like, really fucking nervous. She's coming down with your food. She gives you your food. And she does like a weird curtsy thing she's never done before. And then she leaves. What do you do?
Okay, so I'll check the food if there's anything hidden in it before eating it.
So you lift up. So you get your food on a tray, right?
Mm-hmm.
You lift up your tray, and scratch into the tray is that R that you saw on the note that Sharif showed you. And the plate is sort of custom built to be raised in the middle of it. It's custom built. I mean, it's like a tin plate. Like you turn around, you bang it a bit, so like it fits on the under there. Custom built. I was like,
Took it to the master.
Custom built, a slight exaggeration.
We need a plate that can hide something.
And there's a key there.
Right. I'll Can you draw the layout of the place I'm in terms of escaping, like where the stair is, where I am, etc. Just quick draw a rune.
This is like the room. This is like the 2 cells over here. This is the area with the table and the random crap, and this is the staircase. And the slits are like here.
Yeah, so, what does it look like upstairs? Like trying to get a good sense of.
You know how there's a way down to the cellar with the other cells on the other side? Yeah. This is on the other side, basically the same thing.
So this stairs go right up into the main room, or the big.
Yeah, it's like, you know how the dungeon is like quite far down, so you walk down this big stone stair thing, but this is just like the cellar level.
Yeah.
So it's just like a normal one floor amount of stairs. I don't know.
Well, I'll. If when I look out the holes, what is it? Dark? Is it morning, or is it evening or midday, or what?
It is your last meal for the day, and she was late, so it's getting dark, or it is already dark, I should say. We would guesstimate it would be after 8.
The guard situation will have been down here. Is it? Has there
only been guarded if she enters the cell?
Yes, there's never been someone who came down and checked on me, like on occasion, or.
Sure, there has been, you know, a guard down here once in a while, but
have I noticed
like several days between, like you don't know a pattern or anything.
Yeah. I'm thinking if I should eat the food or not before I. That's my thing here, Magnus.
That's your decision.
I'll haphazardly throw the food in my belly. At least set in that way. Then I'll try the key in the cell door.
It clicks open.
It's convenient. She gave me the right key.
That'd be really fucking funny if I gave you the wrong key, and then just like a few days later you're brought out and you're executed. I'm gonna remember that.
That'd be
fucking amazing. That'd be fucking amazing.
Okay, so yeah, I'll stealthily. So I'm pointing at the screen now, as if you can see it. This the area with the. Oh, it's dark. The area with the shit and stuff.
Oh, I moved. I was just gonna check.
Yeah. Is there anything I can use, like to?
I'll put it back here. I was just checking the map for some reason.
Like, is there? That's I guess that's the right one. Is there anything I can use at all, like to something to have different clothes or to scrub myself up?
Like,
or?
Let's just implement a luck roll right now. I really didn't think about what would be in those crates and stuff. So I'm gonna just roll it. Sure. There's in one of the crates. There's some sort of basic robes. I'm not sure what they're intended for. They're like brownish in color.
Is there a hood?
Sure, there's a hood.
Then I pull the hood up. He thinks to himself if he should, bunch his clothes up in his bed so it looks like he's sleeping. Might buy him a few hours. He goes back. He does that. Like in the, I had a something to put on me in my bed. Anything at all?
What did you say now?
Yeah, I have some blanket or something to.
Yeah.
So I'll my old clothes that I don't give a shit about. I'll try to create the illusion that someone's sleeping there. If someone would during the night and check, they would assume.
There's not really enough, but you could try to do it. But you can tell after you do it that it's probably not going to work.
I mean, it might.
Sure.
And I'll make my way stealthily. I think I'll go for stealth rather than try to be incognito.
Sure. You could roll stealth as you're going up the stairs.
I am rolling stealth. Okay, here we go. Why didn't I put this point in stealth? Ooh.
That's a pretty good stealth roll.
19, baby.
So
19.
you get to the top of the stair, and I'm gonna just use that for opening the door as well. And you
Key? Oh,
no, the door isn't locked. Like you just get the door open a little bit, you know, it doesn't creak or anything, and you look outside, and there's just guards standing in front of the door.
Is he holding his weapon himself? Does he have? Okay, so what I want to do is snatch a weapon, right? And either, I mean, I can take him out, but you know.
You want to try to take his weapon?
Yeah, like a dagger or something to hold to the throat.
Yeah, I get that. So you know the guards, and they have like I don't know exactly what they're called, but like pole army type things. Not pole army, but not space. Like I'm thinking of a halberd, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite a halberd. I just don't know exactly what the name is.
Yeah, sure.
It's kind of irrelevant. But you know they probably have a secondary weapon. So let's see. Yeah, he does have a knife. It appears at his side. Like
But a knife and not a dagger. It's really.
I mean, you can't really tell, right?
I mean, sure, but
It could be a small dagger or a big knife, right?
Yeah, all right. And like he's right outside the door, so there's no way I could sneak
Like you
past him.
literally, if you stuck your hand through the wall, you could try and grab at the knife. No, through the wall, through the door opening, right?
But
he's really fucking close.
Yeah, but so
it's
there's
like
no way I could sneak, right?
Yeah, he's guarding this door.
Yeah, and for like you know purposes of this exchange, is there would we go into combat if I were to like take the knife and stab at him, or would we? I mean, would it be a straight initiative roll and then?
I want you to just try to think.
Yeah, sure.
Think roleplay, and I'll try to be reasonable mechanically, right?
All right.
We get into a whole like meta thing about initiative and turns and opportunity attacks. It's like,
yeah, I'll go for the dagger, and I'll just I'll do the thing where I simultaneously try and grab his mouth and like slit his throat so he doesn't scream.
Okay. Trying to do quite a lot, right?
Yes.
Pure and stealth. You're essentially getting like turn and grab for it. There's got to be some post stuff that's reasonable for this. Usually, any like grappling and so stuff is based on strength, right?
It's in both for the CMB.
All right, fuck. What's this shit?
No, it's strength is default, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently.
Combat maneuver bonus and combat. Let's just roll combat maneuver bonus against combat defense. Combat maneuver defense. I'm not gonna say you just fucking like execute him. I'm gonna put you in the position where like you get the knife. Like I feel like you're doing too much without him having a chance to do anything. Like if I just like grab the knife and you stab him, you're done, right?
Yeah, I, if I wasn't clear, I don't think I want to stab him right away. Or maybe I'll stab him right away if I would be given the chance. But this is just to grab the knife.
Yeah, for now.
That's not good.
Yeah, that fails. So you break stealth, quote unquote, right? And you reach for a dagger. He notices out of the corner of his eye, and he sort of turns away. So the dagger gets too far away, and you sort of grasping it in air, and you're like standing face to face with this guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who you just tried to grab the weapon of, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just like stares into your eyes, and you have this like awkward pause. You're standing in this door, like you just reach for his weapon. Like there's no bluffy like, oh, I just wanted to touch your butt. It's looked pretty nice, right? And he just looks at you and he just nods.
Right.
Like a nod, and then he just like a thing like that.
Yeah, I move straight away as he nods, and I start.
And so he's nodding towards a door that goes. You know how when you go up the stairs, there's a door into Jarif's waiting room, and then into Jarif's office, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a door basically in the same spot on this floor, that you haven't been through.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like motioning you towards that door.
Oh, are you going to that door?
Sure, you go through that door.
That's
and it's just
lucky.
like...
I mean, if I did make it, I'd...
Oh, it would be pretty funny if you just killed him. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in the office.
No, you're not in the office.
Okay, I'm in the room, whatever.
What I'm saying is like this is a door, just basically the same place, is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
But on this floor, and you get into like a hallway. That seems like very. It's like undecorated, just super basic, and there's several doors along the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the hallways, there's an open door.
I just run for it.
Sure, you run for it. You're running past all these doors. You don't know, what's in them. You're looking around. You're nervous, and then suddenly you're outside, and you're in sort of desert cold. At night it gets reasonably cold, right?
Yes.
And you're just looking around. You can see in front of you. There's the palisade thing around the fort, right? And then you look to your left and right. It's sort of just like the inside of the wall where you can walk between the buildings and stuff. There seems to be some sort of service entrance or something. And then over the palisade wall, there's a rope hanging.
I thought about everything, man. Like I'll carefully close the door behind me so as not to make any noise. And then climb the... I'll have a good look around, so as there's no eyes, and then I'll climb the rope.
Okay, you climb the rope.
It is a sting, Grief does.
It's to prove that you're guilty, that you run away.
But when you murder someone who's running away, it's justified, right? Someone who flees detention, you just kill him, and it's it's a clean kill in the eyes of the law.
So you get to the top of the thing, and as you see over the wall, standing there, really awkward, literally like holding your gun upside down, and like...
I thought about that, Magnus. I did. I thought he's gonna take my fucking musket now. We have to find a new fucking musket.
She's got a gun. You notice, she's also like awkwardly holding your rapier, and on the ground is like your backpack
and my masterwork leather armor.
You don't see any armor.
I don't even know if I want to play you anymore.
This is the woman that was feeding you, right?
Yeah.
And behind her, there's two men. And they both have horses. There's some being hushed. They're like, get down here,
Yeah, I'd jump down.
Yeah, so they
like, no, I'm good.
Pull the rope, behind you. She like sort of awkwardly hands you her stuff. Like I said, she's like fucking holding it upside down, right? And they lift her up on one of the horses. She sort of sits in front of one of the guys, and you go up on a horse with the other guy, and then you ride off. And that's where I'm going to leave you.
Some good stuff, Magnus.
Maybe you do have friends after all, Viktor.
Maybe.
Maybe not everything in this world was out to screw you.
I've done some good things. I had good karma coming my way.
Yeah.
Right, do you want to do experience? I figured. Something.
If I'm really nice, I give you experience for those guys. Those guards actually got killed. I mean, you defeated the encounter,
right? Technically, maybe. I screamed and helped them. Come on.
I'll just give you that.
I provided a distraction.
I mean, you did technically free 5 slaves, right?
Yes.
I mean...
Spend a lot of my hard-earned cash money doing
nothing else, you can get some RPX for that. And... you failed with pretty much everything you did with giraffe.
Yes, I did. I rolled it really good on one of the bluffs, right? But to not fail.
But we also, it's a slight spoiler, but I mean, you figure out, a lot at the beginning of next time you play. It's not a big deal. But this sort of marks a sort of a chapter, I think, in in Luke's life.
Yes.
You're now pretty heavily aligned with anyone that isn't, or something, or someone, or some entity, or whatever that isn't giraffe, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of, I'm on your side.
I don't think that's a spoiler.
Should we put
that connection is sort of done.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you 1300 experience.
You realize that puts me at 15 more to level?
How much to level?
15.
Oh, wow. Fuck it, let's just give you 15 experience for it. I gotta find something. There's gotta be something you can get 15 experience for, Victor.
Language learning?
Yeah, let's do that. For attempting to learn a language, although you'll be...
Roleplay terms.
You're...
Yes, I realize I will not be, read and write, maybe not the best. And,
sure. But you can take your point. Even though you never got that thing, Since this is when you level up, let's just do it.
And here's for HP roll. Are you ready?
Sure. That sucks. Do you have a con modifier?
Yes, I have +2.
That's how you get high con, man.
Yeah.
Fuck, sucks.
High everything. Right, let's check it out.
So this was a super RP heavy session.
Yes, I like it.
That's
good. The RP heavy sessions.
I actually didn't. Wasn't I like I was pretend? I told you we've RP'd for so long. I have to give you an encounter, right? Because I didn't want to reveal what it was first. Mm-hmm. But I kind of just have to tell you this because it's so funny. So I rolled something for the slaves you bought, right?
Oh, there's a lot of rolls, yes.
For what sort of their alignment is, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious that generally you could be aligned towards, or like your main alignment would be towards Sharif or towards the elves in like resistance terms, right? Mm-hmm. So since green numbers are good and red are bad, I decided if I rolled 100 on a D100, they would be super aligned with that it would scale, right? Mm-hmm. I literally rolled a 1. So it's pretty funny. 1%. And I was like, well, for a 1 on a D100, they gotta try and fucking cash in or some shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I just love that. When I saw it, I was like, I'm gonna look in the video and see if I can spot where I rolled that die. If I give up a reaction, that's pretty funny.